JoeTownsend.com is ready for you, with stories to chill you right through and through. Tales of terror and fright for your dark winter's night. At JoeTownsend.com, your screams will ring true. There's horror for holidays, wrapped with a bow. These books will give shivers high and low. Make your Christmas time weird with the stories you feared. JoeTownsend.com is the best place to go. Joe Townsend brings cheer in so many ways, as your beating heart sinks and each jangled nerve phrase.
Oh, it breaks my heart that Christmas is almost here and we'll have to stop using our Christmas commercials. I love them so much. It's so sad. Anyway, oh my gosh, what a great show. What a great show we have for you. The chat is already filling up, and that is fantastic. It's going to be so much fun. Grab your neighbors, wake the kids, several other things that David Letterman used to say. Let's get going.
Fair use, having fun, you know. Giving comments and reviews, and it's covered by fair use. Fair use, fair use, having fun.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Oh my darling, what do you say? Won't you come away and have yourself a retro holiday? The Retro Rangers all know they'll be here in ho-ho, from jolly Capt'n John and Commander Joe. There are old videos worth remembering, and that's why we're all assembling. Oh, I just wanna go up with you. Retro holiday, retro holiday. A big snowy snuggle will get us through. Retro holiday, retro holiday. Just the Rangers and me, curled up under the tree, watching long forgotten movies and TV. We'll review and react, cause we got the very best chat, and you don't even have to wear a Santa hat. We watch old videos together, and we won't even mind the winter weather. Oh, I just wanna go up with you.
Well, AI gave me my very own Barbara Mandrell. And if that doesn't let you know how old I am, well, my friends who are younger than me will be more than happy to remind you. I don't host this show alone, of course. Capt'n John, there would be no Capt'n John at all if there wasn't a Commander Joe Townsend. Mr. Townsend, very best of the season to you, my friend.
Mr. Weber, happy holidays to you as well. Season's greetings. I want to address a comment that John just made, John Atkinson. I didn't morph into the devil. I'm actually always am the devil. I just reveal myself at select times. And John asked your comment regarding your age and Barbara Mandrell. All I can say is Barbara was very lovely, but I preferred Louise.
You know, you go deep into the Mandrell family, and that works for me. I respect that a lot. I love Raphael. The graphics can be used in a competency hearing. that would be something. I would like that. We want to hit the ground running on this one because we've got a very special guest, somebody we've been hoping to book for a good long time, and
I am so excited. I mean, I'm always of course excited to spend time with our friends, but this is the first time meeting for me, and I've been looking forward to it for quite a while.
I love when this guy can come on our shows. It is not often because he is a professional.
Yes,
he's not a rank amateur like me. And we're so glad to have him with us. Let's say hello to our good friend Eric Kramer. Whoa. Mr. Kramer, take another shot of courage.
How are you? Another shot of courage. By the way, Louise, yes. Yes.
I'm glad you agree, sir. Yes.
No, absolutely. And can I just say, I would give anything to have my own theme song like Joe's. Are you kidding?
That can be arranged.
Do
I
you
don't mean to brag.
John can hook you up.
I can hook you up hard. I've practically hooked Joe up with an album. As a matter of fact, if I can get my crap together for Christmas, I will tell everybody to go over to Spotify because I'm trying to put together that Joe Townsend album.
And Eric, I'll put this out there as well. Should you desire any Eric Kramer the Elf type morphs, mishmashes, feel free to ask, sir. I'm happy to do it.
He's amazing at them. He's, as you know, he's just amazing. We have got the folks in the chat. John Atkinson, very happy to see you. Diana J. Brody, with whom I went to college, one of the funniest people I know, saying hello. Here's a Raphael, somebody who we met. He came and watched the shows and was active in the chat. He's hilarious. We absolutely love Raphael.
Yes.
A couple of people might go up. We'll see. I'm taking a look at Instagram right now. Okay, nobody showed up at Instagram right now yet.
That's the kind of pull I have, guys. That's the kind of power you booked. And by the way, tried to book. I have been begging to come on this show since forever. When you decide you want to answer my texts.
This is, well, I am terrible that way. This is also a precursor to Eric. I am very proud to say that right before the show, when we were talking, Eric has said he wants to make it onto Retro Trekkers at some point because he's a big Star Trek nerd, just like we are.
Name the time, name the place.
Cannot wait for that. What is going on here with Raphael saying, I'll see you at the NFC Championship? Raphael is an Eagles guy. He's a Philly Eagles guy.
An Eagles guy, or he's all right. Yeah. I mean, thank you for getting us that far.
Of course, repping the Detroit Lions as Eric Kramer does. Kind of amazing that we've got sports represented on a show where you've pretty much got Weber and Townsend, just not sports guys. Joe, you're not a sports guy, right?
Well, I don't follow any particular team for myself, but of course, adhering to the great Tony Luna, I have to, of course, root for Dallas, and until they start losing and lose big. But that's about it for me. And now the Lions, of course. Not that they're going to lose, of course.
Listen, I have waited. This is a team that has done nothing my entire lifetime until the last couple of years. I'm not kidding. They have been rebuilding since 1957. Well, there are so many of us that are like losing our minds right now ever since Dan Campbell showed up and changed the culture and turned that team around. Oh my God. It's like, I went back I've gone from being a zombie on the couch. Like there was a time that the Lions couldn't hurt me. You couldn't hurt me with the Lions insult because I was numb to it. And now I'm back and I'm yelling at the screen again. So thank you, Dan Campbell. Thank you.
New life.
Reignited that passion.
That is beautiful.
It is. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Brody does love her Niners, but when she has to, she will revert to her Philly teams.
See you on the gridiron.
Ralph says,
gridiron. Oh, I think Philly lost today. Did they not?
Oh, did they? Yeah. Raphael was saying it was a tough day. Yeah. Sputtered today, Ralph says. Ralph asks, wasn't there a Lions quarterback named Eric Kramer?
Yes, there was. There's a great story, but wow, it's long.
We do have time.
We make the time.
Let me try and condense this as much as possible. So Eric Kramer was a quarterback in Canada playing for Calgary when I became a professional actor. And so for a time, in interviews in the papers, they would get us confused. They would put my picture over his interview and blah, blah, blah. Never met, never talked to each other, but constantly confused. So I moved down to the States. He goes to Detroit, which is where I'm from, and Kalamazoo, but Detroit, I got a bunch of cousins and stuff. And so he plays for Detroit. So now suddenly I'm getting requests from charities asking for football memorabilia and all the rest of it. And again, constantly confused in interviews, all the rest of it. Never met, nothing. I'll cut to the chase. Turns out my ex-wife, because he's from LA, used to babysit him.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So there's blah 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 and a whole bunch of other stuff. Never met. So now I'm doing Good Luck Charlie.
Yeah.
And we have there's a Make-A-Wish Day, and this lovely little girl, her wish was she wanted to come and meet the cast of Good Luck Charlie. So she comes in, she couldn't be any more delightful. So we chat with her and stuff, and now she's sort of making the rounds around set. So I go and I talk to the parents for a while. So the dad and I are talking, and the dad goes, "Oh, so Eric Kramer, like the quarterback." And I go, "Yeah, like the quarterback." I said, "Funny story." And I give him the rundown, and he looks at me and he goes, "You never met?" I said, "No, never met, never talked, no correspondence, nothing." And he pulls out his phone and he goes, "Well, let's change that." Oh. And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "He's a really good friend of mine." Calls him up, hands me the phone. "Eric Kramer?" It's Eric Kramer. "How are you? Listen, bye." So we go through the whole thing. He goes through a rough spell, but he comes out of it on the other side. Cut to my golf game sucks, and my TV son is beating the crap out of me on the course. So I decide that I want to take some golf lessons. So somebody recommend my barbecue guy over at Barbecue HQ, by the way. If you're in LA, that's the place to go.
All right.
He recommends this guy by the name of Roger Gunn and says, "He's the guy, do this. Here's his number." I send him a text. Don't hear anything back. Wait a couple of days. Send him another text. Don't get anything back. Send one more text. He texts me back, and he goes, "You're a different Eric Kramer. I thought you were Eric Kramer, the quarterback, who I'm giving lessons to." And I went, "Well, of course you're giving lessons to Eric Kramer, the quarterback." Because our lives sync together. So we have him and I have this insane relationship, never met.
I love that because I don't know if I've ever told you about my story with John Weber from the UK.
No.
There was a time when I had a bunch of credits. I was doing a lot of acting work, and then it really started to fall off, and I was hosting. At that point, I wasn't doing so much acting. And then on my IMDb, all these credits show up one day. I was on Poirot. I was on a show called Aberdeen. I was on Grantchester. I was on all of these famous, BBC shows because some poor sap, John Weber with 2 B's, I think he got a new agent or somebody, and they put it all up on my biography, not on his. And so I, being so insecure, went, "Well, I'm not going to correct this because this guy doubled my work." If I kept this guy's credits, I had a really respectable looking IMDb page. So I run into him. This is back when Twitter was still Twitter. And so I send him a PM. I send him a private message, and I go, "Hey man, it's the American John Weber. I'm really sorry that I've got your, credits on my IMDb, and I don't know how I got to be John Weber number 1. There's 5 of them. He's like
So
3
they
or
didn't
4.
ask. So so this is interesting because this is why I have to use Alan, because when I first got into the union, there was an Eric Kramer that already existed.
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they wouldn't let me use my name.
Mm.
And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And they go, well, change your name. And I'm like, I'm not changing my goddamn name. And then I thought, well, all right. You know what? Then screw you guys. I'm going to be Eric with 6 C's and 7 Kramer with 7 K's and 3 R's. And the last one's going to be capital. And then I thought, no, I can't flipping do that. So then I added my middle name. So we didn't cross in resumes, but we cross in everything else. Like everybody else thinks his life is mine and my, so if you Google me on the internet, I'm living 2 separate lives.
I wanted to show people, I wanted to do this early. There are so many things that Eric does, but one of the things that you do that I love, and we talked about this a lot before you launched it, not even a year ago, is your coaching service, and you can be found online at ericallenkramercoaching.com. This has been fun for you. You really like to coach. This is actually something.
I've always loved teaching. I always did. With as you can see from the sword here, I say fight master in the past tense, but I guess I am still one.
Oh
But
yeah.
I used to do a ton of workshops, ton of acting workshops, and then I would go to high schools and stuff and talk to the kids and talk to that and help out in acting workshops and that. And of course, when COVID and the lockdown came,
Yeah.
suddenly a buddy of mine out east was teaching an online class, and he says, well, why don't you sit in? And I sat in and had a flippin' blast. So after all of that, I put my shingle on the internet, and that's the right phrase, right? Put my shingle on the internet.
Absolutely.
That's it, sir.
And then and it's been, it's been a blast. I guess I have aged into mentor, which is kind of cool. You sort of get
always the mentor.
experience, and you get enough credits that you can make younger actors cry. So it's fantastic.
That's one of the benefits.
Yep.
But there's
it's not worth it if you can't be a bastard.
There's a long period of time where you were playing either scary authority roles like the evil sheriff. Played a few of those, but you played so many dads.
Not a lot.
Really?
I don't get the evil, this goofy ass character face of mine. It's like I'm sort of the big dumb older brother. But I'm never really the heavy. Very seldom do they.
Very seldom are you the heavy. Isn't that interesting?
Heavy.
I think my favorite of the few heavy roles that Eric has played has been and I apologize, the character's name escapes you for the moment, but the bully you played on Roseanne and the Connors.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that was great. I just got a chance. That character got a chance to come full circle this last.
Exactly.
Crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. It was great because that was literally, I think it was because I came out here. Thor was the show that landed me here and made me realize I should stick around. And Roseanne was the very first gig I got after that. So Roseanne was like the first sitcom, like the first, and they were like on their first 13, like waiting.
Wow.
That was early. Yeah.
They had just started airing and they just started realizing they had some legs. So I did that. And then all these years later, I get a call saying, would you want to come back and like be the jerk in the bar? And I'm like, yes, of course. So so that you know, if you get old enough, everything comes full circle. I'm like Alan Hale, the skipper, talking with my hands. I'm gonna start doing puppets here.
When you played Alan Hale, what was your because you were in the movie about making Gilligan's Island,
right? Yeah, surviving Gilligan's Island.
Oh my God, surviving Gilligan's Island, and you're playing Alan Hale Jr.
Yeah.
You and I never talked about this. We weren't hanging around out with each other much during this period. But what was your decision for his arms? Because my decision would have been a little different.
Oh, I would love to hear that. What happened? I mean, I watched that character my whole life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, growing up.
Yeah,
and it was always. And you look at younger pictures of him, it's me. Like,
yes,
the same hair, like the whole 9 yards. And what was
cut from the same cloth.
What's crazy was when I went into audition to that, I'm like, they're never gonna hire me. I had this big old flippin' beard and all the rest of it. I think actually on the old VHS they have all our auditions for it. But it honestly, that was just a natural thing that just sort of happened, because as you can tell, I talk with my hands anyway.
Well, it's part of the comic actor thing too. Like, part of what we do. There's a great imitation that somebody does of Fred Armisen. It's Bill Hader, where he says Fred Armisen, when he tells you a story, will animate it with his hands. Oh, it was so great. We drove all the way out to JFK and then we flew out to Seattle. You get to Seattle and you see the spire and it's so exciting. We're playing hacky sack. And so you being from that tribe of the people who talk with their hands to be funny. Here's what I always saw in Alan Hale. And you tell me if I've got something here. There's always the elbows. Ooh. Like, get those
interesting.
Elbows.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Because to me, it was always the fingertips.
Interesting.
He was always making cookie dough. You know, it was always this.
There was a lot of that.
Because the minute you got up close enough, then you could hit somebody with the hat.
Now, that's a bastardization, if you will, of Oliver Hardy, is it not?
Ooh. It had never once crossed my mind, but it is a little bit. It is a little bit.
I think that's how
it's the same relationship, right?
Right.
Like it's that same.
Well, I would definitely put the skipper and Gilligan as Lauren Hardy.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
so funny you never put that together till now, because I just try and memorize lines. That's as deep as I go as an actor.
What a braggart. Folks, he's amazing at memorizing his lines. I am not. And look at how many roles Eric has played.
Well, can I mention just one before we get
don't start naming them. Don't start naming them. There's stuff in there I'm not going to admit to.
Eric, I just wanted to compliment you on I watched a number of the Hughleys over the last few days, and one episode in particular really I found really nice. It was Why Can't We Be Friends, from your first season, where you and DL, we had a little bit of a misunderstanding and an argument about as loutish acquaintance of Dave's, and I just thought the way that was handled, as far as the relations and everything, was so effective and a lot less heavy-handed and realistic than we might get a lot today. So kudos on that. I thought that was a great episode and a great performance from both of you.
Yeah, some of those episodes I thought really hit, and that's all DL. That's everything DL wants to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So we were, it's really, that whole show is just DL's voice and DL's story. Really great guy, great boss, just all around great.
That is something that's a gospel I've always spread too. Did I tell you, Eric, that at one point when I was doing hosting, they sent me out to Las Vegas. It was right around like the NAB, when all of the shows are being sold into syndication, I think.
Right.
And so I was interviewing John O'Hurley, who played Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. I interviewed Andrew Dice Clay. I interviewed Shatner, and that's a whole one-man show.
You have the greatest Shatner story in the world. The greatest Shatner story in the world. Mine is so sad and so pathetic, but you have, without a doubt, the greatest Shatner story.
Well, we're going to have to, I'll tell you what, when we get you on Retro Trekkers, we'll have to do a TOS episode, and then you and I can haul out our Shatner stories, because
mine's so sad and so pathetic.
I'm the unofficial note taker, so I'll make sure I'll note that down, make sure we don't forget it.
Please do. The producer really makes
it's really one of the lower points in my life.
Shatner does not make it easy for you to have high points in your life. That is one thing we can say about Bill.
I will say that, but honestly, most of the blame for my story rests solely on my shoulders. I would love to go that effing guy, but I can't. It's just me yelling at myself in the car all the way home on the crowded LA freeways, which, if that isn't a country song,
I'm telling you that I've lived that one. I remember this story.
Let me ask you this quick. How many lines do you still go over in your head from auditions gone bad 20 years ago? Because those are what hit me at 3 a.m.
You're going to hate
why I have to watch movies, because me alone with my thoughts at 3 a.m. when I wake up is not a good thing.
You're going to hate hearing this, but one of the lines I run through my head is, Daryl, don't judge me by the content of my drive shaft. Judge me by the content of my character. And that's one of Eric's lines from I think the pilot episode for the Hughleys. You know that story, right, Eric? That I auditioned to play Dave on the Hughleys.
Yes. No. Yeah. That I know. Yeah.
That was Eric's role. And
I'll tell you what, I think the only reason I got that was I snuck in there last minute. They didn't even call me in. I had my agents call. I said, there's this whole thing with like the neighbor, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I think I snuck in. I think I snuck in under the radar. So they didn't have a whole lot of time to, go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, it's this guy. No, F that. No. Get rid of him.
That's hilarious, because I thought when I went in, they'd already cast it, because I was seen by an assistant of an assistant, and I was like, oh, this is just them being nice. But she was a real sweetheart and really easy to perform for. So I did a good job. But, I didn't get to be the white best friend. I got to be.
You would have been great.
I was not as ready as you were. You had already done a couple of series, and you were already just you translate so perfectly into that role. But it made me very happy that I got cast to be your white friend. I was the white friend's white friend.
We were talking about this before the show came on. The greatest dressing room of my life.
Absolutely.
With all the neighbor husbands.
Yes.
My neighbor, playing what were we playing? We were playing we're
playing poker at your house.
Well, we were playing poker at my house, but the video game we were playing, what is it? The Alzheimer's.
Twisted Metal 2. That was
there we go. Yeah.
And then Tekken 2. We were all playing the PS1 at that point.
Yep. That's right.
All these stories are.
That's right. Oh my God. It was the greatest dressing room of my career.
It really was.
I so looked forward to going to work, because I got to hang with you guys. It was it was so much fun.
And I also want to go off of what you were saying, Joe, earlier about how there were really great moments of great acting on that show, because the supporting cast was like one of the best I've ever seen. Just a fantastic supporting cast. You know this, Eric. I got to work with Taylor Negron, who was
oh my God, Taylor. So sad that he passed away, but oh my God, one of the greatest one of the greatest, funniest, like character guys, and he's one of those guys that you just never knew if he was effing with you.
Yes.
You never knew if he was just being straight with you, or whether he was effing with you. No idea.
He could be so intense. He was like some of that like old-timey, live the gimmick kind of comedian.
Yeah.
But he was a North Hollywood guy, so he was really accessible and really easy to get to know.
Yeah. I would go watch him do stand-up. I loved that guy. We had one of my favorite moments with him was on the Hughleys set, and we literally, between setups from moving to scene, him and I laid out an episode where my character and his character became best friends.
Of course.
And the whole premise was Marietta thought something was going on, but we were actually going to Bed Bath & Beyond to pick out linens for the house. No, the Egyptian, you can really feel the difference.
All I know about Taylor Negron from the show, which he was so great in, I still want to see that production of Buck Naked Nutcracker. I feel cheated.
Thank you for bringing us back to Christmas, Joe. This has been so much fun. I hope everybody is ready for a great reaction show. John Gardner, I hope you're still with us. I haven't seen John in a long time. He and I used to do wrestling shows together.
All right.
He and I were commentators for wrestling, and boy, that's a great gig. Oh, Eric, you got to get that gig.
I don't know enough about it. Here's the thing. I thought I knew about wrestling,
Right.
and then I met John.
Well,
We had talked. We have this sort of outline thingy for something that we were writing, but it revolves around wrestling. And I remember sending John the initial outline, and then John came back and very politely went, "You have no idea what the F you're talking about." This is how it works.
I was just pointing out that there were opportunities that you could take on in the project.
You know what? You corrected me in the nicest way. Like you really could have gone,
If anyone had ever seen, did you ever see anybody here? Did you ever see the movie Ready to Rumble?
No, I missed that one.
It was a something about Mary style take on wrestling, specifically WCW at the time. And there were guys who had worked on on big movies who were putting this together, and they didn't know anything about wrestling. And Joe Pantoliano plays the president of the wrestling company, but he's all westerned out. It's Joey Pants, but he's all done up in cowboy hat and string tie, and none of it made any sense at all. And I don't know if they were avoiding trying to make fun of Vince McMahon or what, but come on, if you need a villain owner, Vince McMahon was right there. And there's a million ways you could portray him without getting sued, I think.
Or you can portray him and not get sued. I mean, it's just an evil character, right? I mean, you don't have to do specific things that he did.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is you have given me the greatest education in wrestling. I didn't realize how much I didn't know. I didn't realize what a novice I was, and that's the polite word. Until you set me straight, and I was like, oh, and from there it was just a deep dive into streaming shows and YouTube videos and
once I could point Eric in the direction of the Road Warriors, or Demolition with Axe and Smash. Once I could point.
I just remember the pause before you started explaining it. There was a question from me that was along the lines of, so what do you think? Hello? Hello.
I don't remember any
And
of
then the voice from the other end of the phone going, okay. So,
Speaking of mentoring,
yeah. No, but it was great. I mean, it was so, for me, it was so exciting. It was like, I mean, my eyes were suddenly open to what that world was. And that was really exciting. So I have you to thank for that, is what I'm saying.
well, Raphael's being a little spicy right now. Could you direct me to the Christmas clip show? Yeah, that's exactly where we're going. That's exactly where we're going, Ralph. Here we go. So, Eric, all we're going to do is watch a little something. Feel free to talk during it. It actually helps us, because if I show a clip that's pristine, the algorithms are like, hey, wait a minute, that is third party.
Oh, you're
Copyright,
okay.
blah, blah, blah. So feel free to speak at any time. Feel free to.
Well, I have my 99-cent Costco readers, so I'm all ready.
Okay. So the first thing I want to show you is a musical number from the infamous Santa Claus versus the Devil. This is a Mexican movie.
How can you not love that title?
Well,
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you've got Santa versus Satan.
Versus
Why do
the
they call it
devil? Like, are you kidding?
So we're watching a little girl. I believe her name is Maria, and she has stolen a doll. Here, I gotta put this on mute.
Oh, Devil's going to get Maria.
He's not going to like that.
She's stolen a doll because the devil is torturing children on Earth by making them be naughty,
Well,
basically.
isn't that his job? I mean, are we being a little mean?
I think we're being quite judgmental of the devil.
We're a little judgy.
So,
Oh my
This is-
God, it's Willy Wonka.
this is the very sad, well-meaning parents. Mom's looking kind of fashionable. I do dig Mom.
I think Mom's had it. Mom's like, when can I talk to my lawyer about the divorce?
I hate sewing.
Yeah, she's making it look like she's sewing. She's actually writing. Yeah, she's actually signing the papers.
Now, this will be a very strange dream that the little girl has.
I love actors that wait for that close up, by the way. Oh,
I didn't know we're utilizing spot color in this movie.
oh my God. It's Alan Hale as the devil.
Now, tell me,
That's me in Surviving Gilligan's Island. That's it.
for the Alan Hale School of Acting,
And it's John Candy as Santa Claus.
you know something? Let me see if I can get some closed
Doesn't
captions.
he? He looks like John Candy.
He does. He really. This is a good-looking Santa. I have to
Yeah.
say, this guy knows what he's doing.
No,
Nope.
is this the Bottle City of Candor they're looking at?
What's going on with the?
Okay, so Eric, as a director, could you describe what the hell we're supposed to be looking at here?
As soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know. Oh man, this is every school pageant I tried to avoid.
So now,
Oh, what's going on here?
now her dream is about dolls.
Those are dolls.
You can
This
put
is like an
whatever music.
A24 film.
Let me see.
Did we have to deal with dolls just a couple weeks ago, John?
This is Bloomhouse.
We did. Hang on. Here, we can play this music. We won't get sued for this. Okay. What part of this is not a nightmare? This looks scary, and she's not happy.
I'm just wondering why Tabitha doesn't just blink them all away.
Yeah,
That's who this
she
is,
does look
right?
Like Tabitha, right? She must
And
be
now I
wearing the
have-
Hogwarts and invisibility cloak because they don't know she's there.
Now I have to ask, like, Didn't the smoke guy go a little too heavy here?
Well, none of the dolls have any wardrobe below the waist. That's why. They had to share skirts.
Is this a nightmare or is this supposed to be a dream?
I think this is a dream torturing her for having stolen that doll. She stole the doll, but the devil told her to do it. It's not really her fault.
I forgot about that. This is why I'm such a good director, because I follow.
Okay, now angling up like that, that's scary, right?
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, you can see all the nastiness up the nostrils. And
I think she could help a little bit by maybe being a little more concerned.
Oh, and I'm also thinking like 1959. This is being shot in Mexico. I don't know there are a lot of union protections for this actor.
No, she's on hour 10 of an 18-hour day.
So not only did she have to do this number, but then I think she had to go into the costume department and help make costumes for a while.
was it possible the little girl isn't totally engaged because she's acting against a blue screen or something like that?
Actually, this is all real. This is there's no CGI here. Okay,
Why,
now that's gonna give me nightmares forever.
Yeah, I didn't need to see that.
she really is. She really does look like Tabitha.
I also wanted to say,
for all your younger viewers, Google it.
this is my music that I added. So yes, Brody, you are correct. This is terrible music. I did that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, wow.
Oh, but I mean, you should be able to get the gist.
So this is also, wait a minute, I wanted to get this up here. This is what it's like to drop acid and go to It's a Small World. That is such a good description of Santa Claus versus the devil.
There's your tagline.
Because at Santa Claus Central, he has children from every country. And they work there, or they're captives? I can't help.
And they're very focused on this one little girl.
Well, actually, I think there's a couple of kids that they go back and forth to, because the devil gets around.
I guess he was an equal opportunity oppressor or something like that.
So the idea is Santa is in a constant battle with the devil? Is that
I think so. Well, he is a saint. Okay, so now we're looking at the incredible technology that Santa has going on. So this is his.
Oh my goodness!
It's War of the Worlds.
Here come the tripods.
And then this computer has like an eye that looks like it probably does. Oh my God! That
is the greatest looking Santa Claus.
He's a good-looking Santa. All right, there's an ear just floating on a satellite dish.
I wish my these kinds of graphics.
Anyway,
It's really odd how this was originally called just Santa Claus.
it was.
Yeah.
It was just. And there's the giant.
Jonathan, if there's gingerbread men in this, I'm out. I'm sorry.
We all have our things that frighten us, and we unfortunately found out this year that Joe's is gingerbread man.
Yes.
I'm gonna be dreaming about that for a few weeks.
Oh, I'm sure Santa never uses that for a bad reason. Oh, that's a nice call from Brody.
There's a website where he sells those.
That's how he makes money the rest of the year. John Schuck, one of my favorite references ever to a big man actor. Did you ever meet John Schuck, Eric?
No, I feel like I need to Google that. John Schuck.
John Schuck, he was in Holmes and Yo-Yo.
Well, and Star Trek's 4 and 6.
Yes. John Schuck played an alien in Enterprise, but that's more recent.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna bag out of this
I
because
know this guy.
you
I
remember
love this
Shuck?
guy. Yeah, John Shuck. He's great.
Yeah, he was out there. He was getting some work.
Did a short
That's
term
right.
as Herman Munster.
I got it.
Oh, that's right. He was Herman Munster for
Oh my God! In the remake, yes.
in the remake. That's right. Actually, great call from Brody. He
He's a
played
Kardashian.
Painless. Played Painless the dentist in the movie MASH.
Oh yes, of course.
Oh, right. And he was
He was so good in that. Have you rewatched that recently?
no.
I did a few months ago. It's such a great movie. It is. It's a great
That's
movie.
the Altman. Is that
Do you
the
know
Altman
that-
movie?
Do you know? Do you know the crazy part about that? Is I forget who wrote the actual music to it, but
Mm.
wasn't it Altman's son who did the lyrics?
Oh, really?
So Altman's son made millions off that song, and whoever wrote the tune made nothing.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good song. Suicide is Painless. It was a very good song.
It's such a great movie.
All right, now I want to. Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
No, I was just fangirling over MASH.
Who can blame you? All right. This is a video. We can use the sound for this one. This explains something better than I've ever heard it explained before. And this ties into Eric as Hermie the dentist in our promo graphic.
Hermie the dentist?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Airing in 1964, the film was adapted from a 1949 song of the same name. As the tune was already accepted as a holiday classic by the 1960s, Rankin Bass's film gained a large viewership and was received extremely well, with the film airing on one of the only networks at the time, and becoming a part of the Christmas lineup for every year since. So the opening sequence of Rudolph is pretty classic, with all the credits being shown on Christmas decorations around the forest surrounding Santa's workshop. One of these credits shows the copyright of the film, with the creators deciding to write out the year 1964 in Roman numerals as a joke, except they did it wrong. So instead of the letter spelling out 1964, it actually says that the film was made in 1164. Believe it or not, this minor error has made the copyright of the film immensely complicated, with most interpretations of the law judging that Rankin Bass themselves do not directly own any of the elements in the film which they created for it. This is why it's so commonplace to see elements of Rudolph used widely in pop culture, almost certainly without permission. So the next time you see a terrible phone commercial using characters from this movie, know that it's all due to the biggest typo in the history of television.
That's amazing.
That is 100% true. Like, one of my favorite things to research is the public domain, because there are so many things out there that are in the public domain, and the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, of course, is not in the public domain. And I had always been told that the characters in the Christmas special who are not in the song, so Rudolph and his father, Blitzen, and Santa, but Santa is public domain, but you can't directly use that stuff. You can't directly use the song, but you can use any of the other stuff, because they claim that they did it in 1164, and at this point, their copyrights run out.
But because that's so insane. So even though it's like a typo on the screen, as opposed to all the contracts and everything that they have when they produce this thing, really? I love this business. Oh my God.
As Johnny A says, so William the Conqueror gets residuals from this film. He doesn't, and more's the pity. Okay, so we're gonna go to our next bit here.
The CIA has particular skills
don't buy any
in
of this.
developing relationships.
Come on.
Life is all about relationships.
Be gone.
Happy holidays, everyone. It's the Mayor of Christmas from Tin.
Okay, so hang on, I want to get this guy right. So Brian Lynch put this together and did a really nice job finding this old kinescope. This is there were a few of these made-for-TV versions of Miracle on 34th Street. This is not one of the more famous of them. This one is from 1959. It stars Ed Wynn as Kris Kringle and Orson Bean. I don't know if I could explain to someone who doesn't know who Orson Bean is, who Orson Bean is. Is there any explanation, guys, that you can think of?
Offhand, all I can say is that both of them were in the Twilight Zone.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Orson Bean voiced Bilbo Baggins in the Ralph Bakshi Hobbit. He was also like Ed Wynn, a bit of a Broadway guy. He'd done a bunch of shows in the mid and early part of the 20th century. I just want to show you a little bit of it. Oh my gosh, how did I miss this? Thank you, Brody. Act Game and To Tell the Truth. Yes.
Yes.
That's where you know him from.
Nice pull. Nice pull.
That's a Retro Ranger pull.
Yes.
That's what Retro Rangers do. By God.
Well played.
So let's take a look. I just wanted to show a little bit of, okay. Here's a little bit of it. Now, one of the questions I had when I first saw this was, how did I never know this existed? Because I love Ed Wynn. Ed Wynn was the guy from Mary Poppins who couldn't stop laughing. I love to laugh. But of course, he was a very famous comedian in the mid and early part of the 20th century. Big part of old-time radio and vaudeville and all that. You'll know his voice when you hear it. He is right now talking to a guy who is too drunk to be Santa in the Macy's Day Parade.
You sure that's not Art Carney?
I wish I knew who this actor was playing the drunk Santa. I thought it might be Joseph
Santa,
Kern.
by the way. Come on. How many times have you played Santa? It's got to be a bunch.
I would definitely be a drunk Santa if given the choice.
Then look a little more jolly? Not me, brother. You're the one they bounced, aren't you? Nonsense. I resigned. I gotta get out of this hot, silly suit. Well, you certainly do. You get out of that suit immediately. You can't malign me this way.
Malign? Malign?
Yeah, sure not the man for this job at all. Go ahead.
I agree. You know why? Because there's nothing louder or stickier than a kid. I hate kids.
I think Dan Aykroyd took inspiration from this. Trading Places.
Now, here is your hostess for Westclocks.
Oh, hello.
Lovely Betsy Palmer.
Good evening and welcome from Westclocks. The people who make the best Christmas presents that I've ever seen, just like my beautiful new Westclocks watch.
Now you
What a
know who
thoughtful gift
sponsors
for
them.
a woman, and so special. It's the newest Westclocks of all, the Ballet, elegantly styled in gleaming gold color, and the miracle of this watch is it's priced at only $16.95.
Hey, that's pretty penny back then.
Some models have matching expansion bracelets, and others have tiny black nylon cords.
All right, Brody.
One has a narrow strap of imported suede. These ballet watches by Westclocks are so
Not to
new.
mention Mrs.
This is
Voorhees.
the very first
Just any
Christmas that you can
suede.
give them.
Imported
They're all lovely,
suede.
and any one of them would make a marvelous gift. Imagine, only $16.95. Every Westclocks has an unbreakable
This is
mainspring.
Mrs. Jason's
It's
mother,
shock
isn't she?
resistant and anti-magnetic too. And of course, it has Westclocks dependability. So dependable that all Westclocks.
I just love the era
watches-
when ladies on television wore opera
So, for a
gloves.
special gift, choose a lovely ballet watch.
So
Comes in its own
17
modern
bucks back in the day. That's not like buying a Timex.
And for more Christmas ideas,
I think that's a little bit of money there.
Yeah.
That's some serious money, right?
I think so. In 1959, yeah, I think so.
Each style is new and different.
100
And
bucks,
I-
maybe?
Really special.
I mean, that's a down payment on
Lovely watches that keep dependable Westclocks time.
On-
Because they have
on an
all
Edsel.
famous Westclocks-
I don't know. I think the Edsel was earlier. Don't listen to me. I'm being silly.
See? Westclocks makes the
But
best Christmas
Betsy
present.
Palmer,
Westclocks.
Yeah, I knew I'd seen her somewhere. I guess I'd seen her on game shows.
Well, I mean, I mentioned it once, but Jason's mom, of course.
Oh, and she played Jason's mom. Oh,
Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh my gosh. All right. Hang on. I want to skip ahead. Oh, okay. Orson Welles is coming up. I'm sorry, Orson Bean. I'm sorry. Sorry if I got it
in terms of weight.
All right, now, Eric, what do you think Orson Bean is trying to accomplish with this character? And this question, of course, is for anybody. Do you think maybe he's, I don't know, going a little hard with this character? Hang on. All right, hang on. Okay, here he comes.
Better run along, darling.
You've seen me act hard as
Mrs. Walker, something we must get straight.
Can't talk to you now, Mr. Sawyer. We need a new Santa Claus. Let go of the button, Mr. Sawyer. I have to phone the agency.
Mrs. Walker, the rule is that nobody at Macy's can be fired without consulting the staff psychologist. That's me.
Please let go of the button.
He's a psychologist?
Now, Mrs. Walker, I was hired to find what bothers
Now,
our people.
somebody call HR because he won't take his thumbs off her button.
And to psychologically rehabilitate them.
You couldn't rehabilitate that man. He was drunk.
Mrs. Walker, that was for me to decide.
There was no time.
Mrs. Walker.
Mr. Sawyer, I need a sober man in a red suit on a sled at 77th Street in 9 minutes.
Here I am.
Are you from the agency?
Well, no, not exactly. I just kind of, I thought that you might need me.
You'll be perfect. You won't even need padding.
Found anybody, Mrs. Walker?
Well, this man just arrived.
Excellent. What about a suit? Oh, I have my own. It's 300 years old.
Then you
sure,
had
it's only dealing with kids. Go put on take a seat.
But as Santa Claus, yes.
Let's hire him.
Now, wait a minute. This is where you get into trouble. You let me test him.
There's not enough time.
Oh, you've only seen the shell of the man, the happy exterior. I can pry into his psyche for you.
Psyche?
Certainly. That way we'll know if you're really qualified for the job, inside and outside.
My dear Mr. Sawyer, there is only one qualification necessary for being me. And that's to like children and small animals. And I do. You're hired.
Now get dressed quickly.
Not touching that.
On the roof. And,
In 1959, there was no double entendre to that.
Oh, but how will you possibly get to 77?
I also love that Ed Wynn
I
is
love
on the
small. Hire.
Psyche.
What a break.
Oh, how great is he? How great is he?
Oh, wait a minute. You didn't fill out his employment card. The state law is very clear on that subject.
All right, Mr. Sawyer. Hey, Mr. Santa,
Hello,
you forgot to give me your name.
Oh, of course. My name is Chris Kringle.
Here's Kringle. Well, that coming.
What? All right, so hang on. I think I can jump ahead here. I definitely want to show you. Okay, here we go. This is some more Ed Wynn. Now, watch Ed Wynn run out of his lines.
Oh.
At some point.
Oh, and what do you want for Christmas, Peter?
I want a fireboat.
A fireboat.
It's where it's real water. And I won't do it in the house. Promise. I've looked everywhere. I can't find one.
You want a fireboat?
I can hear you.
Well, Peter, you'll get your fireboat.
Thank you, Santa. Thank
All
you.
right.
All right.
Say, I told you you'd get one for me.
Run
Now just wait over
along.
there because Mommy wants to talk to Santa too. What do you mean telling him that? I've looked everywhere. They're just not making that kind of boat anymore.
Oh, I beg your pardon, ma'am, but they are. They're making fireboat here. I'll show you. You can get a fireboat at the Acme Toy Company on 5th Avenue. They're $8.50. Now that's a bargain.
What?
Oh, you're surprised that I keep track of the toy market?
No, not that so much, but Macy's sending me to another store?
Well, why not? The big point is to make the children happy.
I don't really care
Who
about
sells the
capitalism.
toy? Now, don't you feel the same as I do?
Yes, but I never dreamed that Macy's did.
Bloomingdale's has
Oh,
just
my
the
goodness.
thing. But you'd better get Johnny's wagon here. We've got the best.
That's
in
quite a
town.
transition.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's a little
Would
weird,
you believe
right?
it, Santa Claus? I know that she doesn't want anything for Christmas.
Well, I never heard that before. Do you mean to say that there isn't anything I can bring you?
No, sir. If I need anything that's sensible, my mother will get it for me. 10% off at Macy's.
What a nice
You
little
better let
girl.
us chat for a minute, Mr. Gailey.
Yeah, sure.
All she wants is her Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh, just sort of a, I don't know, just.
I
just
feel
love
bad
the
that I
imagination.
said Edwin was doing a bad job. He's doing a great job.
He's doing an amazing
Please
job.
forgive me, guys.
Play Santa Claus.
Oh, no.
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find a little
He's
more.
so great.
Him to dinner.
He's so sincere.
Yes.
That voice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. He was really good with sentimental stuff.
Oh God, he's just like you believe everything he says.
That's the creepiest HR manager I've ever seen. I'm sorry.
There's an X. There's an X. Now there's the nay. I think that about finishes it. Let's see. There it is there.
He is good.
My gnomes in Alaska make these all the time.
Oh, I love the boom
Mrs.
coming
Walker, could I not persuade you to look a little more jolly?
So
we just leave it in. Like, we don't have another take.
I mean, I don't think this one was done live. I think this was done to tape.
And that would be live.
Chris, you're a wonderful mixer-upper.
He certainly is.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me over. I ripped up my napkin. I hope that's okay.
Give me more cooking, Sherry?
I hope Chris can come often.
Well, I don't.
Hey, you know
And I don't know who this guy is, but boy, he looks a lot like Jerry Van Dyke.
There's a resemblance.
Dignified spirit of yours isn't everything that you would like people to think. And when that day comes, you're going to need someone around to help.
Oh dear.
Oh, where did this go?
I don't remember who she marries at the end of this movie, but I'm not sure it's this guy.
Oh God, I hope it's not him.
Okay.
I'm suddenly invested in her character. I'm like, don't marry that dude.
Let's jump ahead. There is a show that I never thought we would run into, and it's kind of delightful. It's the Dean Martin Christmas show.
Oh,
alcohol.
The following program
Nice.
is brought to you in
Drink
Nice.
it, got 'em, kids.
In color.
Look at that face, just look at it. Look at that fabulous face of yours. Why you first look and look at it. This is a face that the world adores. Look at those eyes that
He's got eyebrows and everything.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk?
Was he ever actually drunk?
Well,
Is my
I don't
question.
know how much. I don't know how much of it was him being drunk, and how much of it was just the act. I think he just realized that. I think he just realized he just had to be him, and he let everyone else around him sort of be great and funny. You know.
Oh, that's very much the story of his show. I mean, you're going to see
Like
supporting players.
I mean, this is a show I watched with my parents, right? This is one of the shows we all sat down with together and watched.
Yeah.
Like this dance sequence is way more than I've ever seen him do.
Well, now they did do a zoom and then a fade. So I'm wondering, is that him? Or do they have like a stunt man?
Oh, that's interesting.
Stunt Dean?
I
love Dean Martin. I love this show. I did. He was just him. He so loved doing this. You could tell every scene he was in, he was just having like the time of his life.
Now there's this young punk Dom DeLuise.
Yes,
One of the greatest moments of my career was meeting this guy and getting a chance to like hang with him just for a little bit.
Oh, right.
I had no idea you met Dom. Really?
Yeah. He did the he did the Don cameo in Men in Tights.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's right.
And we weren't even called in that day, but I came in just because I wanted to see him do his thing.
Well, now,
I'll certainly bring you all those things. Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho.
Oh my God, Bob!
Is that Laura Ingalls?
I mean,
what are you doing here?
I'm leaving you, Harold. I'm fed up. I have had it.
What's wrong now?
I can't stand that crummy apartment anymore. I want some decent furniture. I want a color television and a stereo. And I want some decent clothes so we can go to fancy places. And I want a new car to go there in. And I want a fur coat so I won't get cold.
Who do you think I am, Santa Claus?
No, because you just have a mustache, Bob. Of course.
Get off my lap and bring in Emily.
Oh, what a Christmas. What a Christmas. I have been to Australia, Africa, Asia. Honey, I've traveled 30,000 miles without a stop.
It's McLeod.
Well, did you leave the sleigh out, honey? Because we need a bottle of milk for in the morning.
They told me I'd be wearing a cowboy hat.
I had no idea that Dennis Weaver ever did anything like this.
That's just great.
Well, that's why the trucker wanted to kill him in the desert.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think that could be.
I mean, you know what? When they do stuff like this now, it's all the send up, right? But I mean, this was.
Yeah. No, this
was back when Christmas was actually a season.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like I think I'm digging Santa's helpers there. Oh, what happened to his eyebrows?
I'm just gonna go with these eyebrows. They're thick enough, I think.
And you know, he's reading. He's just reading the cue cards for the first time. He's just.
We'll tape the rehearsal.
Oh my God, that was such a good joke. Hang on. I love this joke.
I did some shopping Christmas Day, and I ran into a department store that had a real Santa. Well, this Santa Claus was real. He was a real playful guy, you know. You should have seen him throwing my 12-year-old up in the air. Lucky he didn't spill any of it.
Come on. That's a good joke.
I scratched my back and 2 women slapped me. Now
I'm so crowded.
Sorry. I was in the toy department, and I tell you, the dolls they're making these days are almost human. The salesman showed me a doll that can brush its hair, brush its teeth, wash its face, and it walks and talks and it wets. And I said, hey there, how much is it? And he said, oh, you can't buy it. You have to adopt it.
The Dean Martin Christmas Show.
That's not real funny anymore.
Wasn't that the story with Cabbage Patch Kids? You used to have to adopt them, I believe.
You got adoption?
Oh, you got paperwork with them. Yeah, you got paperwork with them.
I'm just wondering if Dean ever went to realdoll.com. He'd be really freaking out at that.
Can we do Marshmallow World without getting a copyright strike, do you think? I think we can now because I've talked over enough.
I wait for it the whole year round.
Oh, yeah.
Although the marshmallow clouds being friendly in the arms of the evergreen tree. And the sun is red like a pumpkin head.
No way.
It shines
Is there a
so
woman?
the won't freeze. All the world is your snowball. See how it grows.
Well, the volume of Dean's voice, fluctuates. So
whenever it snows, the world is your snowball just for a song. Get out and roll it on.
Oh, no.
That was actually my favorite joke that would show up in Dean Martin clips would be he'd be doing a scene, usually with Bob Newhart. And at one point, he'd mess something up, and Bob would just be completely, dead-faced, and he'd go, "We really missed you at rehearsal." So you knew A, it's a joke, but B, it's not a joke. It's real.
I used to love his skits with Jonathan Winters because Winters would just like the whole thing was improvised.
That's
And
right.
Just to watch his face.
That's right. I loved that. The
Another
beauty,
hand actor.
the beauty of Dean Martin is he really doesn't care. He's not worried about losing his gig.
Dan. You know that Dean Martin story, right? Where he called the cops on his own party?
No. No. I love it.
He had an early tea time the next day. And so, Frank and this party is going on in his house. And the cops show up. The cops show up to shut it down, and everybody leaves and goes home. And Frank goes up to his room to give him shit, and he's like, "What did you do? You called the cops on your own party." And Dean goes, "Hey,
My pal Bob Newhart. He's going to be playing the part of a guy, and there's no music here. He's going to be playing the part of a guy in a rather embarrassing position of returning a toupee that his wife had bought him. I'm going to be the clerk, and wait, here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Newhart.
Let's go to the ending game.
Oh, young Bob Newhart. Old Bob Newhart was great too.
Oh yeah, all the way to Captain Proton.
Is this the complaint department?
Don't all clerks wear tuxedos?
Yes, sir. This is the complaint department. May I help you?
You have a private room of some kind. I'd like to discuss returning a gift.
Is it underwear, sir?
It isn't underwear or anything like that. See, my wife bought me a toupee, and she gave it to me early so that I could wear it to some of the Christmas parties. And I'd like to return it.
Oh, well, do you have it with you, sir?
It's under the hat.
Well, what model is it?
I don't know what model it is. The crew cut with the widow's peak.
Oh, that would be our Mr. Wonderful model. Yes.
I don't know what you people call it. I'd like to return it.
What do you mean, you people?
Well, you'll have to show me the merchandise.
You people that wear tuxedos to work.
You know, if you want to show it to me.
Well, I'll show it to you in a minute. There's some people coming. Just don't stare at me. Just
Yeah.
there.
Well,
See, this
too much of that.
the problem is when people pass me on the street and they start laughing. I notice lately they started laughing.
Well, it certainly makes you look years younger.
Yeah, well, it make me look years younger, but people still laugh.
Well, what seems to be the main complaint?
Well, the main problem is we went to this Christmas party, and I bent down to put some cheese dip on a cracker, and the toupee went into the cheese dip.
I know.
And everybody quit having cheese dip, and the hostess started crying. We spent a couple hours trying to fish it out of the cheese dip.
A couple hours.
And well, this may be funny to you, sir. You had to be there. I took it home and I put it in the washer dryer. Got the cheese dip off it. And we had one of those with the windows in them. You know those kinds? Now there's another problem. See, the kids, they like to sit and watch it now. They're mad at me because I'm returning it.
Oh well, you want the full exchange on that?
No, I don't want the full exchange. I'd like to get a real cheap one just to stick in the washer dryer for the.
Did your wife tell her she was getting it for you?
No, I didn't know she was. Well, you know, looking back, she came in one morning and with a piece of paper, and she had me put my head on the piece of paper. You can get the wrong size, you know, if you don't put your head on the paper. It's embarrassing. It fits me, but it's embarrassing enough. But if I got one that didn't fit me, I'd be. She never told me why she traced it on the paper.
And the reason you wanted to return it?
Well, the main reason is that, you know, it doesn't do what you people say it's going to do.
Well, it does make you look younger.
No, you keep saying that. It makes me look years younger, but I still would like to return it. I still like to return it.
Well, that particular model is guaranteed to stay on in a hurricane. Excuse me.
I know it stay on a hurricane, but see, we're from Iowa, and we don't get that many hurricanes. I wanted to stay on mainly when I got off of the cheese dip. That's what I'm.
But do you still have the price tag?
You need the price tag.
Oh, certainly.
Could I use the phone?
Why, yes.
Honey, yeah, listen, you want to call the Hennessy's? Yeah, and ask them to look in the bottom of the cheese dip bowl, see if there's a...
You knew we had a good blow off there.
Let me trace your head. I'm not going to tell you why.
Eric, you were on the show Bob.
Yeah.
I remember your character having a lot of scenes with Cindy, great actor who played his daughter. Right. And also the actress who played his wife. Did you have a lot of scenes with Bob as well?
And yeah, I mean, it was a real sort of ensemble piece. I'll tell you, the greatest thing about doing that show was when Betty White was getting her makeup done.
Oh.
I would sneak into the makeup room.
No kidding.
I would just sit in a chair and shut my mouth and just listen to her tell stories.
Oh my God.
Like she was the greatest. Oh my God. Like that's the one memory I take from that show.
Yeah.
And Cynthia Stevenson, who is like truly one of my favorite people of all time.
Absolutely.
Like wonderful actress.
Yeah.
But Betty would just like, you know, like it would just, and it would all sort of all come out casually in conversation, you know, throughout.
Yeah. That was my impression of her, that she was not big on pushing it.
No, she was really one of the one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Like genuinely caring. Like, oh my God. Like, you know, just made you feel like a horrible human being every time.
Of course you go there. She's so great. I must be terrible.
I'm horrible. Here I am sitting in a chair milking Betty White for stories.
Hey, man. Any good comedy pal would want to hear Betty White.
And Kavanaugh, and like that was such a good group. Such a good group.
Yeah, you had a really good cast there.
The Gold Diggers, you know, they're here tonight. They were on my Thanksgiving show.
Dancers are the Gold Diggers.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to think
He's smoking the whole time.
Yeah.
Let's bring out those damn Gold Diggers.
The talented and beautiful Gold Diggers.
Let's see how much of this music we can go with, but we can certainly enjoy the dancing.
Of course.
Better not, I'm telling you. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh, yeah.
He's making garlic kiss and checking each eyes. Going to find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is He knows when you've been snapping.
And they got to shed these overcoats
He
soon,
knows
don't they?
when you're awake.
I'm sorry, Joe. What was that?
They have to shed these overcoats pretty soon, I would think.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It seems to be the standard dress for this series. It's like overcoats, legs.
Well, they're wearing their hats. That's where the heat escapes, so it makes sense.
I do have to wonder, though, like, I have never heard a story from anyone who ever said my mom was a gold digger. And more's the pity. You would think living in LA for 30 years now, I would have run into somebody who knew something about the gold digger.
Right? Like, how have we not had a documentary on Netflix about the gold diggers?
They better be making one, or they are sleeping at the wheel.
I mean, did gold diggers mean something different in 1968?
No. Standard.
You could just name a dancing group, the Gold Diggers, back in 1968.
Oh, Brody, you didn't know? Yes, the Gold Diggers.
You didn't make that up.
What I love. That's it. That's the bit.
Oh, and here we go.
Oh, I guess the other gold diggers are calling him Daddy.
Everything, Daddy. You want to get the best for me. Daddy.
Oh, looks swell in sable clothes, Paris label.
Daddy.
Oh, okay. Again, we should probably talk over some of this.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the underlying meaning is pretty clear, I think, at this point. And Dean Martin could have this many gold diggers, I would imagine.
Now, Dean Martin was a good old married man, wasn't he? I mean,
yep.
My memory of it was good dad, good husband.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know him, but yeah, those are the stories, right?
Yeah. Do you remember? There was I think they made it for HBO. There was a movie about the Rat Pack, and Joe Mantegna.
Oh, Joe Mantegna played. Yeah, I remember that one.
He was good.
And remember they had that was the one sequence, right, where they were showing what all the guys were up to at night, and then they cut to Dean Martin in his hotel room alone.
He's like drinking apple juice, watching the late movie or something.
Yeah, watching a late movie.
Oh, Atkinson, that is a good line. Looks like the Christmas decorations Melania Trump came up with. Oh, my goodness.
You mean they're not on a real lake somewhere with pine trees in the background?
Well.
I mean, do you think he just showed up the day before and was like, just, point me where I got to go?
Exactly.
Where are the songs I want to sing? Be sure the words are on the cue card.
Day before or day of.
The thing, but he was so great at it. Like, he could absolutely get away with it.
It was literally effortless.
And I think it's from all those years with Jerry Lewis, right?
Oh, had to keep up with him.
Like, he just played the straight man and just reacted.
Yeah.
And that's all his show was him just reacting to everybody else, again with the fucking puppet.
I think that is a perfect observation, because he was a guy who would watch Jerry Lewis jump off every wall, hit the ceiling, doing this crazy cartoony stuff.
Right.
And all he had to do was wink.
Well, all you had to, I mean, you look at the old interviews with Jerry Lewis, and that, boy, I've gone down many a YouTube rabbit hole of those.
Oh, yeah.
He would play golf all day. And he would show up and he would be like, so what did you write?
There were a few actors in Hollywood. I'm going to tell a story, and I hope he'll forgive me for telling this story. Joel Murray on the show Dharma and Greg.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Joel plays like the buddy, he's the best friend of Greg. And Joel would do, it was one of those sitcom gigs where you didn't have a whole lot to do. They didn't need you on the stage very often.
Right.
And so I believe they were shooting down at Fox on Pico. And Eric, tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. I believe there's a municipal course across the street.
Yeah. There's a golf course. Yeah, there's a golf course across the street.
So he had it worked out in like his second season when they were like, "Oh, we love this guy. He's so great." And he would always be playing golf. When they needed him, they'd give him like a 20-minute, call, like they're going to need you in 20 minutes. And he'd wrap up whatever hole he was on, and he'd run back to the stage, do his 4 lines or whatever it is, do his one scene, and then run back to the course and play golf.
Well, that was Bob Newhart, right? We worked around his tea times. I mean, I say that, boy, and that sounds obnoxious, but it's not. It's just, he had how many shows under his belt by this point? Exactly. And so the schedule sort of worked around his life, which was completely fine.
I mean, look, somebody like Bob Newhart or Joel Murray, for that matter, easy to work with, sweet guy, excellent work. Nobody has a problem making allowances for someone who does that because they're just such a joy to work with.
By the way, because they also deliver. Like never hurts the production because that's them. That's their character. The greatest thing about doing that show was all the guest stars that would show up. The Tim Conways,
Holy
Dick
cow.
Martin, like everybody, like, oh my God. And there was the same thing when I did Men in Tights. Like on your days off, you came in because you never knew who the hell would show up. The Carl Reiners, that everybody would just sort of come say hi. Oh, and again, you found a little chair sort of in the back and you just let the world happen around you.
Was Men in Tights shot in LA?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
We shot out in the Antelope Valley and then we were down at Fox for a lot of the interior sets and stuff.
Oh man. And that's a great lot. Fox is just one of
it's great. It's just great.
Yeah. All right, let's watch a little tour de force from this skinny young comedian named Tom DeLuise.
Did he ever do anything? Look at this. Never dead, always alive.
Don't you read English? You can't park over here. This is a tow-away zone. Move it out of here. Huh? Yeah, ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas to you, too. Now move it. I don't care what you got to deliver. You take those funny-looking horses out of here, I'm going to give you a ticket. Who? Their names are Donna, Blitzen, and I don't care if it's Bonnie and Clyde. You got to get them out of here. Okay, fella. What is your name? St. Nicholas? Come on. Now, don't waste my time. It's cold. What's your real name? Kris Kringle? Don't feel bad. After Spiro Agnew, anything goes. Look, buddy, what is your business? Spreading Christmas cheer. Have you got a license to peddle booze? No license, huh? Okay. What's in that big bag? I said, open that bag. Open that big white colored television set, tape recorders, transistor radios.
Looting.
Where'd you get this stuff? What? They were made for you by a bunch of elves? Suspicion of burglary. All right, you're coming down to the police station with me. What? What do you mean a Christmas present for me? What's a Christmas present for me? I throw the book at you and then you give me a Christmas present? Oh, wow.
It's some good acting.
Jesus, it's a gold fountain pen. It's just what I always wanted, you know? Hey, mister with the beard, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this beautiful pen and I'm going to cross out all these petty little charges that I have down here, crossing them all out. And instead, I'm going to write down one thing. attempted bribery.
That's a no-nonsense guy.
One of the last times I did stand-up, I did a scene like that. And afterwards, the MC of the show came up and went, "Wow, I don't know what the hell that was."
It must have been great, John.
It worked. I mean, the audience liked it, but you know, back in the day, one guy could do a sketch. Oh boy! All right, I see.
Hey.
Oh, is that Dean? Oh, that's
Hey, Charlie. Hi.
Hey, Pally.
Hey, you know, it's great to see you. How you been?
Not too bad, old buddy. And you?
I get by. Hey, you're looking just great.
Hey, you're a sight for sore eyes yourself.
Well, hey, it's that time of year again, you know?
Yeah, we've been.
Dean wearing his tux under that overcoat.
I gotta say, this is making me sentimental as hell.
Is it really?
It really is. It's like there is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's like old age looking back, but I mean, like Christmas used to be like I remember like my mom transforming the house, like the Christmas specials would be on TV. You know, like it's really like it just felt like that time of year. And now it just feels so commercial. I mean, Costco starts promoting it in June for crying out loud.
Well, I think it's a big part of it, Eric, is that, you don't even get Thanksgiving anymore. It starts after Halloween.
Yeah.
Or sometimes even before.
Oh, before Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a big push now. Oh, that is a very
Yeah.
Dean Martin.
Talk about the spirit of Christmas.
Oh, I love this bit with the piano.
Well,
remember the episode where he jumped on the piano and it collapsed?
Ken Lane here.
Ken Lane,
My
ladies and
biggest
gentlemen.
problem is what to get him for Christmas. Ken has arthritis, bursitis, rheumatism, sinus. What do you get for a guy who's got everything? I think I'll sing a Christmas song. Let's see. What do I know? What do I know?
Well, how about tra la 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 fa la 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 la.
I don't know the lyrics either. But where does it say you sing like that? That's $500. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to kiss and neck with Doris Day.
Hey, all right.
All right, but don't sing.
Horny Doris Day
Remember the
stories.
famous words of
Love it.
Mrs. Santa Claus, who once said to Santa, "Go to heavens, where you been? Those reindeers have been here 3 days already."
That's the classic. It's better when the joke doesn't.
It's not Christmas without Bob Hope.
I gotta tell you, folks.
Merry Christmas.
And to you.
It's pretty crowded in that closet with all those empties. Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
And I like the color of your nose. I'd like you to lead my sleigh tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Robert Hope.
Oh, it's Robert. Robert Ho.
Not much of a person. I'm always available.
Oh, that's it.
That's his cameo.
Because Bob didn't have a lot of time.
And you can always
Busy
count
man.
on the gang at the office.
Ready to go do his
to
own
get
Christmas
together.
special.
Now,
Next
for
stage.
Christmas bash.
They were both contracted to NBC, I believe, to deliver at least one special a year. I don't know if this counts for Bob's, but
Office Party. Oh, watch out for that day after, huh? Oh, give her a kissy. Hey, HR won't care.
Yeah, back in these days, HR was a guy named Lou.
Yeah.
Who would explain to you that the terrible thing that happened to you was just cool and everything was fine.
Who starts to go sit on the Xerox machine?
It's like they were trying to get the nerdy glasses wearing office people hooked up together.
This is like the classic tale, right? Like the nerdy guy who keeps working during the Christmas party.
Right. That's it.
Even Scrooge did this.
This is true. Poor Marley.
It's true.
I'm trying to get the spirit.
Aha. That's some pretty clear looking liquid. Are they using Everclear? What's going on here?
A little straight vodka, yeah.
I guarantee you back in the day that was real alcohol they were pouring in.
It's the Dean Martin show. It's in the budget.
Yeah. He's so great. He's so great.
Isn't that incredible? It's a pantomime scene.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Where did that mouth go? Her dress is unzipped.
Oh my. Oh, I see. That's the girl who
Oh my God.
You whacked my butt good. Let's dance.
Oh, what's going on here?
Here's the boss in his tux. I don't think Dean's taken his tux off once, has he?
No, he has one wardrobe for the whole show.
I actually picture a rack of like 8 tuxedos. Uh-oh. Folks, the 2 Italian guys get to fighting.
Oh,
I don't want to get in there. Uh-oh.
Hey.
Why does that kill me?
Apparently Dean likes making passes to girls who wear glasses. Yeah, just hang him up on the coat.
I was just going to put my fingers through the glasses frames. I don't care. Oh.
Whoa.
Dom DeLuise, there's got to be a butt sex joke.
I'm not sure Dean was expecting that.
I mean, so much of this is just improvised in the moment. I mean, just look at his face.
I mean, as far as Dean's concerned, this is an office party, a real one.
I think you're right, Raphael. I think. Well, I mean, how could any of this really be scripted?
It just isn't. None of this is.
Oh.
Oh.
You have to wait till the next day to get fired.
No, don't end the scene like that.
Oh.
Oh, look, these guys.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, come on. Make
I'd
it
like to grab you, but my hands are stapled together. Oh.
Oh, that's nice.
Love wins out.
Oh. Now, let's remember, she is a gold digger.
Well, this is true.
Oh, those glasses.
Oh, here we go.
Good old mistletoe.
And that's how the DeLuise boys were born.
This is the second most toxic thing in your kitchen. If you
We almost worked with a DeLuise on the Hughleys, Eric. Do you remember Peter?
Oh, I know Peter really well. Not really well, but I know Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, Peter's very
Peter and
cool.
David.
David, I used to audition with David for things all the time.
Yeah.
He was a terrific actor too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love David. David's great.
Yeah.
Now, is Dean drunk with all the kids? I have to wonder.
Oh, there's no way. There's
I
no
hope not.
way. I don't want to believe. Is this where we find out who this kid is?
Thank you, sweetheart. And they're just like.
It sure looks like Melissa
So
Gilbert.
I invited them here to
I
share
think she might be a little bit
Christmas fun
too
with
young
me
here.
and my guest.
It's
Now I'm
68.
going to ask some questions. You're all right, kiddo.
Man.
Have you got a favorite singer?
Here's Dean doing his Art Linklater.
You got a
Oh no! You crying or laughing?
You got a favorite singer? What? Oh, what are you going to give your mommy for Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, one of those? Oh, yeah. You can drop it now, Harry.
Drop the bomb on him. Is that what he's saying?
Oh, Dean Martin? I'm glad I found that out. Well, I want to talk to you kids some more, but right now, I've got a real surprise for you, because you're going to be entertained by my next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the nice man from Gentle Bend, Mr. Dennis Weaver.
Oh, it's not about being Dennis Weaver.
He's from Gentle Bend?
Yeah, he's the dad.
Comfortable?
I got to Google that now. Wait a minute. Dennis Weaver was on Gentle Bend.
You know what I'd like to do for you?
No.
I'd like to sing you a little song.
Howard
But
was
you
the
know
son.
something? I'm going to need your help. Because yes, I'm going to need your help.
Because I can't sing a
Because
lick.
I just,
We're gonna need your help.
right. Because I'm telling you, I don't think that I can get through this by
Yeah,
myself.
Dennis Weaver.
So first it's the tambourines, right?
Right.
And next it's what?
The whistles.
The whistles, right? The whistles. And then the tambourines. I thought I'd fool you. I didn't. And then the horns, right?
Who knew that Dennis Weaver was so good at crowd work?
Right?
So when I
Great.
point
Like
to you,
just.
that's when you all got to jump in and help me. Then you help me, right? When I point to you. You got it? Okay. Here we go.
What was rehearsal like?
When
I need a zither.
a little lad,
This is,
full of health and joy. My father came home late
I have
one
to
night.
imagine these are all the kids of the crew or something, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Like everybody brought their kids in for this. The writers, the crew.
Yeah.
And the moment I laid eyes on it,
I forgot this
it
song
became
existed.
my heart's delight.
God, you can
It
sing.
went
I used to have clothes like that when I was a kid.
I never knew just what it was, and I guess I never will. The first time that I picked it up, I had a big surprise. For right on the bottom were two big buttons that looked like two green eyes. I first pushed one and then the other, and then I pushed the lid. And when I sat it down again, this is what it did.
Seriously?
It went Dennis Weaver hit. Never knew just what it was. Guess I never will. It first marched left, then
It's just amazing to me that Dennis Weaver is doing a song.
And not badly.
He's great, by the way.
He's
Like,
good.
He's rolling with it. He's just.
What amazes me is that I forget that back in the day, no matter what part you were playing on, what show, what kind of movies you were in, you would go on a variety show and you'd be doing,
Right.
Ease on Down the River,
Right.
with, like Sonny and Cher.
Did I send you that clip of Cher and Captain Kangaroo singing a duet together? Did I send you that?
No, oh my God. No, that sounds amazing. Oh God.
That is Melissa Gilbert.
Is it? Because
It's got to be.
It really looks like her.
She must have been just a toddler.
In 68, yeah. So,
because Little House started in 74, and she was pretty little there.
Look at him go. He's just like he's trying to make it okay for her. Look what he is.
She's scared.
How great is that?
Oh,
look! Come on.
Oh, that's sweet. All right, Dennis, put down that blonde. Let's talk.
I want to thank you for coming by and entertaining the kids here.
Yeah, I get a lot of practice at this, Dean. I got a bunch of them at home myself.
Yeah, well,
not to mention a 650-pound bear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He must be hard to handle.
No, not really. Whatever he wants, I do.
Well, hey, while we're all here, why don't you join me with Ken Lane and we'll sing some Christmas music?
Been waiting for
Paleo Valley. They have a chocolate bone broth protein.
Ignore it, dude. Go away.
Like chocolate
bone broth.
Incredible.
Tastes like milk.
Bro, you're not getting your chocolate from bone broth, bro. Where are you getting it from, bro?
It's just not Christmas unless you got chocolate bone broth in your cup.
I'm digging those red jackets.
Very festive looking group here.
I just love it's all cutscenes, like it's just like this is obviously look, when you get to my age, it's like, but this time will never exist again.
No.
Like old time Hollywood, like the whole studio system, like all of that, like
It's it comes from like back in the days there were the King family specials.
Yeah.
And there's like 1,000 of them, and they just do a bunch of songs. I'll always see it sometimes with other people putting up their memories. And it's like when you visited your grandparents, and there's a picture of the Lawrence Welk show.
I was just thinking about Lawrence Welk. Yeah, I liked it. I just thought it was really, really fun to watch and listen to.
To me, that was what was always normal. It's always normal to have big groups of people wearing nice clothes singing.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, this was, it's gone now. Like I remember when they put the Peanut specials on, what was it, Apple that picked them up? I think so.
Yeah.
Apple TV picked them up. Like that was like every year was the event. Like you had the Grinch, like it was a special day. We used to have Grinch parties even back in university to watch that show. And now you can just sort of pull it out whenever and like watch it. And it's
on YouTube. We can't broadcast it, but people can just watch it. There are people who have made,
but it's but this was like you look forward to this for like a few weeks before it was showing up. Like you're going to be home, you're going to sit with the family, you're going to watch the Dean Martin special.
Well, it's like the Wizard of Oz, another example. That was once a year, and that was an event, a traditional event,
So, Eric, to answer Raphael's question, what beverage are you enjoying right now?
Oh, this is, if anybody wants to know what to get me for Christmas, this is Ardbeg Corey Vrecken. You'd think an actor would be able to find the camera, right? But
I don't think the Corey Vrecken.
This is my favorite go-to scotch of all time.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm so glad.
Like affordable.
Duly noted.
The best.
He is a Scotch man. Are you a Scotch or a single malt guy, or both?
Single malt, but I very rarely turn down a glass that's put in front of me. That's scary.
To think the same producers that did all these variety shows did the Star Wars holiday special. Eric, have you ever seen the Star Wars?
Oh my God, isn't that the best thing you've ever seen? Isn't that the greatest thing ever done? Especially that Chewbacca dream sequence.
Okay, well, we just saw it last week on this show, and
we did
that Wookiee living in porn.
It's the greatest Christmas special ever produced.
Okay, next Christmas, I want you on our show, and we'll watch it again. That will be our tradition.
Yeah, I think we decided we want to make the holiday special our tradition every Christmas.
Oh my God, it's the greatest! It's the greatest thing ever aired.
Where I was born.
It is some
But we have to
good
find a
math.
version that doesn't omit the Boba Fett and the Jefferson Starship.
Oh yeah, we found a version that actually
George
omitted
Burns!
San Antonio, Texas.
They got everything. Oh,
Reindeer is going to be happy to make a stop.
William
at
Holden?
the Hartford Hospital
yeah.
Pediatric Ward in
Got a few little greetings here at the end. That's cool.
Hey, there's Tony.
Home for little wanderers.
Hey, the home for the little wanderers.
Lady Gaga's not even born yet.
And he's on his way with some shiny new toys.
She's just baby Gaga at this point.
Baby Gaga.
Now you have to think when these guys are asked to come on the Dean Martin show, nobody goes no. Oh my God, Gail Gordon.
Gail Gordon.
Well, we got to have Lucy if we have Gail. Come on.
Mexico with lots of goodies for all the children.
I got when I was just
Well,
starting
Dean,
out as an
I hope
actor.
the boys and girls at the children's hospital.
I was actually doing a theater show at a dinner theater.
Yeah.
And Gail Gordon was the show behind us. So I got a chance to like hang with him and like chat with him for a while, which was like one of the greatest nights of my life.
It's incredible
to hang with Gail Gordon. And that's when they were going back to do the Lucy show, the one where she played her husband.
Right.
And he was like out of his mind happy. Like we're going back, like we're doing it. We're doing Lucy again.
He loved to work. He was
he loved to work. And you know what? There was never there was never a night that he walked through it.
No.
Like
no, he was a performer.
He always gave it. He always brung it, like every night. Like there was never sort of an off night for him, you know?
Eric, did you know that Gail Gordon was radio's original Flash Gordon?
I did not know that.
I got to play that for you one of these days.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I stopped
really one of the nicest guys, like Betty White nice.
I love to know
like
that.
One of the greatest guys I've met.
I just absolutely love knowing that because I would fan girl out for him.
He's everything you'd hoped he'd be.
Oh,
that is good to hear.
Like one of those guys. Like, oh God, thank Christ, you're like you've lived up to every expectation.
Did he call you? And if he didn't, I mean, you know, it's fine. But did he ever call you dear boy?
Never.
That would make my life. Oh, dear boy.
I think he ordered another drink from me on occasion, but he never called me dear boy.
Speaking of famous drunks, this is Phil Harris. Phil Harris was
Phil Harris.
Oh, just the best. Phil Harris did the voice for Baloo the bear in
Yes.
Jumpin'.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
He did a lot of voice work, and he was a radio staple. He was married to a famous actress named Alice Faye, the Phil Harris Alice
I didn't
Faye
know
show.
that. Really?
Yeah. They were married, and one of their little girls was named Alice, and one of their other little girls was named Phyllis. And they had a show, the Phil Harris Alice Faye show, on old time radio. But of course, he was most famous for being the band leader on Jack Benny's show.
Yes.
And so now I'm gonna hit play because Phil is just one of my favorite people in show business.
You know what's
whoever.
interesting? He's probably about 35 years old.
You're absolutely right.
For you children at St. Vincent's Orphanage in Chicago, Illinois.
And you children at the Hillcrest Center for Children in Bedford Hills, New York, will be real happy to know
Charles Nelson
Riley.
That took me a
on
minute.
Christmas
Yeah,
Eve.
And it's going to be a real Merry Christmas for you children at the Angel's Haven in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
That's not Nancy Sinatra, is it?
The Immaculate Heart of Mary
think
Children's
it
Home in
was.
Buffalo. Make sure that you keep the front walk all shoveled off because Santa's planning on dropping in there too.
And things are really humming, Dean, at Santa's workshop, so we can deliver some real fun toys to you children at the Gila Indian Reservation at Levine, Arizona.
We're also sending lots of fine toys to the Holly Hills.
Lord.
Yeah.
So you can have yourself a merry little Christmas.
You know, at St. Vincent's Orphanage in
Columbus,
Ohio,
A lot of
You know, I knocked him on his ass in the Vegas airport one time coming off a plane.
Oh my goodness.
Did you really?
I was looking the other way. He was looking the other way, and I knocked him flat on the ground.
Oh my God, and you know, he was probably a couple of sheets to the wind in those days. Hopefully not.
God. I felt like it's one thing to do that. It's another thing to look down on the ground and go, "Holy fuck, Glenn Campbell." Let me help you out.
Not what
Eric, it's not your fault that Glenn Campbell didn't have true grit that day.
Yuletide for you children at the
How
Barium
often
Springs
was he in
Orphanage.
that movie, by the way. Even he admits it. He says he was so bad in that movie, he gave John Wayne his only Oscar.
He didn't have to be good. It was Glenn Campbell
Listen,
in a
I
movie.
love Glenn Campbell. Listen, nothing, absolutely nothing against him, but he was pretty horrible.
Some guys were not meant to be actors. Johnny Cash was one of them as well.
At the Jesse Lee home in Anchorage, Alaska.
That's
And you
Twiggy?
children at the
Barbara Felden.
New Orleans, Louisiana,
so
will be happy to
99?
know that Santa got all your letters and he's got some nice surprises for you.
You children at the General Children's Home in Indianapolis,
Can't get
Indiana.
enough Dennis Weaver.
Leave out the welcome mat on Christmas.
He's got to
Eve
grow that
because
stash,
Santa's gonna
though.
drop by.
It's definitely missing.
Children at the Clyburn Home for Children in Baltimore.
Santa's going to bring you some sweet bippies
Reading along the Milky Way.
and a fickle finger of fate.
That was another, the family sits down and watches show. Oh my God.
Like I said, they must have gone to the Bonanza set because they're all in costume.
I've been real busy all this week.
Oh my
up
God.
Santa's reindeer,
Roy
we can visit
Rogers.
All you children at Children's Orthopedic Hospital up there in Seattle, Washington.
Washington.
And there are lots of fine toys on the way to you children at Terman Avenue Home
God,
for
this
Children in
is
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Unbelievable. This is like
Jingle bells for all of you with the Kendall Children's Home.
I think NBC stacked all these up.
The Boys Home of the South.
Oh,
Jim
yeah,
Neighbors.
South Carolina.
Be sure to make
Oh, we just saw her last week.
Oh my God.
At the Windacres
Hot off the set of the Star Wars holiday movie.
My good friend Barney Fife from Mayberry told me he's given a police escort to Santa, so he'll be sure and get to the Ethel Harpst Home for Children.
Okay,
in
Don, now
Seatown,
why didn't you
Georgia.
appear on this?
Santa's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
making
gotta
a
get
visit to
on
the
that.
Methodist Children's Home.
By the way,
in
one of the
Burlington,
greatest
Ohio.
characters in
Santa
history.
Claus will
probably.
also be making
Red
a stop on the
Skelton.
roofs at the Abbott
Red
House,
Skelton.
Evanston on the Hudson.
And all you kids at St.
Oh, there you go, John.
in Phoenix, Arizona, be sure to clean out
Oh.
because Santa's going to drop
Every
in on
time
you
I
too.
say something terrible about the Jewish people, I'm really saying Happy Christmas.
New York will be very happy to know that Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus have included all
I'm
your
sorry,
names
who's this?
on their gift list.
Now, you children at
Oh,
the St.
Tennessee
Mary
Ernie
Villa in
Ford?
Nashville,
Yeah.
Tennessee, be sure and leave a light in your front window because a nice man in a red suit and a white beard is going to be looking for your place.
I wish I could see the smiles.
Oh,
on
now
the
that's
faces
the
of you
topper right
boys
there.
and girls at the Children's Home
Where's
Society
Zuzu?
of Washington when you
Came out from
opened
his,
your presents on
his
Christmas
ranch
morning.
in Toluca Lake just to
Even
shoot this.
Scrooge is working overtime this Christmas to send lots of wonderful toys to you children at
God,
the
what a
Memorial
what a
Hospital
picture
for Cancer.
postcard of that
Children's
time,
Ward
right?
Yes.
in New York City.
And I hope you children
And
at
folks, I
Dock
hope you-
Manor in Marrero, Louisiana have an extra large chimney so that Santa can climb down with all the fine toys he'll be bringing.
Ah, that's a fine
I
toy.
just checked
There's
the
Lucy.
itinerary. And
Lucy.
you children of the City of Hope Medical Center in
My
Duarte,
heart
California,
melts every time I
are
see
going
her.
to have a most welcome visitor on Christmas Eve.
Well, I want to thank all of my friends for dropping by and helping me make a lot of kids happy. Now, you have a happy holiday, and from all of us to you and your loved ones, a Merry, Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
I think
He's
this is
got
a
Betsy
public
Wetsy
domain.
there.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh, poor kid in the green turtleneck. He is not loving this.
Yay!
Yeah, he's already got 3 bodies buried in the backyard. But
Oh,
But I mean, how great! I mean, it is. That's obviously all the cruise kids, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a whole. It's a whole like family affair.
yeah. And that's sweet. They're basically giving these kids gifts for being on the show.
Right.
I hope they also got a little.
check.
Oh my gosh!
And they're all getting handed gifts by a gold digger.
Carl Messerschmidt.
Now that's what you don't see very often is a gold digger giving gifts.
That's right.
That's how you know it's a Dean Martin Christmas. Oh boy,
that was great. That was really that was so nice. It really does. It made me sentimental as hell watching that stuff. It made me think about my family and Christmas and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a I have to admit it there's an old-fashioned quality to it now that I imagine when my parents at that time, you know, like late 60s, early 70s, I was a little kid, and my parents would always be thinking back on, you know, their Christmases way back when.
I mean, that's just natural. But I mean that really was, I mean, that just absolutely sent me back to like sitting in front of the TV with my mom and dad and my sister. Yeah, it's really sweet. Nicely done. Nice pivot. Nice
choice, Mr. Weber.
Santa versus Satan.
What can I say? Sometimes the algorithms that don't allow us to use third-party copyright material really do a nice job replacing it.
No, you can't watch Santa versus Satan, but I'll tell you what, you can watch an hour-long Dean Martin special.
That's right. With all kinds of music and celebrities.
That was really great. Thank you. No, sincerely, like I'm like weirdly emotional about that now.
I have to admit, I am as well. We'll see if we can dig up more Christmas specials for next Christmas, because that is something that A, the copyrights are not really brutal, and B, it is really sweet to see.
Can we watch Grinch? Because that was a celebration all the way through university. Like we would have, like whenever that came on, we would have Grinch parties just so we could watch that show.
You guys, I have 3 words for you. Christmas in July. What do you think?
I'm all in. I'm all in.
I'm not saying no to that.
I'm really showing my age in this little podcast here, but God damn, that was great.
Just taking a look at the clock, there's something I want to hit the button on. Feel free, Eric, to react to it.
It's dancing in silver air, joy and wonder are everywhere. Stories shared by firelight make Christmas happy, warm and bright. Ho, 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 what's beneath the tree? Horror gifts as far as you can see. Every story has a turn when the shadows come to call. Ho, 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 best gift of them all. Pages turning in the dark, tales that leave their lasting mark. Every gift wrapped just for you holds a nightmare coming true. The stories crawl across your mind, leave reality behind. When darkness falls on Christmas Eve, there's no escape, you cannot leave. Ho, 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 what's beneath the tree? Ho, 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 now you finally see. Every story has a cost when the creature comes to call. Ho, 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 claims us one and all.
Okay, maybe AI ain't so
bad. Thank you. You know something? I keep tackling that. You know, is AI going to replace us? Is it evil?
It will.
Terrible?
Let's face it, it will. Well, who are we kidding? Right?
There has been no greater wish in the mind of especially powerful film directors. No greater wish than to replace actors with things they could 100% manipulate.
Like, how does this not replace? You have a whole culture of people out there that go, you know what? I want to watch Star Wars, but I want to watch it. You know, I want to watch it with Eddie Izzard as Luke Skywalker, and I want to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? like, do we not? Oh, this is a whole other conversation. But I mean,
Can of worms.
seriously, is that not the danger? Like, have we become so numb to creativity and story and ideas that we just want,
to
that
manipulate?
kind of mindless manipulation? Like,
Yeah. Actually, Raphael brings up.
I'm going to put my drink down because this just turned into another hour.
Well, the thing is, actually, Raphael
You know
brings
what
up
I'm
a great
saying?
point. Yes, exactly. Because producers have always been very powerful in show business. Like, I don't know if most people understand what producers are and how much what we see is the result of producers making decisions and saying what they want. But I'm going to take the other side of it too. And I'm going to say, I think,
please, come on, bring it. Take the other side. Come on. Give me your best argument.
I think people can tell when something is not derived from a real, actual human.
Okay. I will counter that with, I don't think people care.
Oh, ouch.
Like, so here's the thing, right? If AI is based on whatever we put into it, right? If it's based on whatever we feed it, we as people can't fucking get away from doing reboots and remakes and everything else as is. Like, how many original creative stories can you, off the top of your head, and I'll give you the last 2 years, come up with that hasn't been based on what's come before? So, what, I mean, really, if it's just entertainment and sort of whatever anybody wants to see off the top of their head, who cares? Right?
Because there's always that back and forth in art of like, what do you want to see as a consumer? And then what comes at you and just completely blows your mind. And it's new and it changes everything. They have both always existed in popular entertainment. Like people in old time radio were like, don't play records.
What has streaming done? What have the streamers done? It's all recycled. Anybody who comes up with an original idea, I'm not saying there's not original ideas, but every original idea spawns 10 to 20 copies.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Yes.
Right.
But I think that was always the case with art.
Sure, it was art, but it was generated by human beings. Like, what is to stop? Like, when you start going into video games, when you start, okay, let's cut to some jokes and talk about.
I am going to jump
Santa Claus versus Satan.
Okay, hang on.
You know what I'm saying, though?
I do know what you're saying.
Like, this is what the issue is. Like, video games, especially.
Right.
If you can just generate something without human content, even if it's just based on whatever material it has to pull, what's to stop you from doing that?
Yeah. What the devil is going on with my list here? I think the I'm always afraid.
I should have started drinking halfway through this show.
I think I'm always afraid that producers will get their wish and they'll be like, no, I'm not going to hire John Weber. I'm going to hire this AI generated, version of Jack Carson. But the fact is, the whole thing about making entertainment is manipulation until they go, oh, this actor over here is one of a kind. This comic is one of a kind. I think that counts for something.
Dude, they did a whole new George Carlin special.
Right.
On AI.
Right.
And how did they get away with it? They called it an impersonation.
Right. Right. But the awfulness of that special meant that no one watched it. It didn't do anything. It didn't replace him. It didn't. I'm a huge George
how
fan.
many commercials. Look at how many stories do you think aren't fucking AI generated? Maybe you bring in some human beings to clean them up, but how do you not, if you have a series, like go to AI and go, you know what, we sort of need sort of a story about this. And it sends you the outline.
Right. Right. Well, Brody, who's on top of the Carlin thing, said that Kelly Carlin sued, which I do remember that. I didn't remember the result that she won, and they took it down and they paid the Carlin estate a lot of money. So that is good.
Well, I mean, at least for now, that's still a line to be crossed.
That's good, but don't you think we've sort of crossed that line? Don't you think we've sort of crossed that line where it's, I mean, honestly, if AI is pulling from everything that has happened before, don't you think everything should be considered stealing?
Well, here, I got to put my elbow on the desk.
Why did we get into this? I apologize.
Any moment now, John's
I'm telling you from a point of I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
like, I
do.
really don't. I don't know. I don't understand fully everything that's going on, but I know it worries the fuck out of me.
Right. Right. I think if you look at it as a tool, just like animation or CGI.
Right. How many animators have been fucking let go? I'll tell you what. One of the greatest flights I ever had was with a Disney animator that I met in an airport, and we happened to be sitting next to each other on the plane, and we had the world's greatest conversation. And what was amazing was I always wanted to be an animator. I wanted to be a graphic artist. I wanted to do, that's where I wanted to go. Yeah. So he sort of invited me into his world, and we had this fantastic flight and just all of his history and everything that he had done. Yeah. Cut to 6 months later, when I'm watching all the animators in the Disney buildings packing their bags,
right,
and being sent home,
right,
because they're not needed anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And don't you think AI is sort of similar? Like, I get progress. I get, like, I'm okay. Like, right. I'm not that old that I'm so set in my ways. But at the same time, like, don't you think there's a human aspect to all of this that is now gone?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know how much AI you have inadvertently seen, but as a person who, before the election, I was watching a lot of YouTube, and I was watching a lot of my pundits. And then the election happened, and then I didn't want to hear from my pundits anymore because they were wrong.
Right.
They didn't predict the election properly. They didn't prepare me for what was going to happen. So I got out of the politics, and I got more into.
That's a whole other discussion. But anyway.
So I got even more into what Joe and I do, which is a lot of nostalgia, which tends to bring down my stress level and make me feel better. Because
I mean, it's what we did tonight, right? Like, I have to tell you, like, watching that Dean Martin special made me feel so great.
Yeah.
And it really took me out of, look, the concerns that we all have about this industry right now.
Right.
Right. And sort of where we're at and how everything's changing, and will it ever get back to a point where, you know, at the base level we all work. But I just feel like we're heading to this point where we're handing creativity over to this existential, like this, like we're taking it away from human storytelling.
Right.
And we're just sort of throwing it into this brew that comes up with something interesting to watch. Now, is it interesting? Like, I'm not that much, like, there's all sorts of shit that I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But at the heart of it, isn't it about us telling our stories and doing our, hang on.
I'm gonna pop another bottle myself.
But do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I do. Joe, let me pull you in on this because you write original stuff. You are a horror and sci-fi writer, and that's a very busy, very loved set of genres there. Do you feel any pressure from AI as it comes into your realm?
Well, not currently in my circumstances. Now, this may be a little naive or maybe a little short-sighted of what's to come, but maybe we're Skynet, yes. As far as my writing, I don't feel that yet. Now, like you, John, I've just put my toe in the water for AI use, just for kind of fun promotion, like we do with the spots and so forth.
Yeah.
And so I still see it as a tool. But I also see where it could, I see Eric's point where it could be heading in a bad place, because I just think so many studios now are so creatively bankrupt, partially as a result of this.
Right. But this is sort of my point. It doesn't stop us from writing and creating.
No.
People will always do it. It comes down to what is more cost efficient.
Right. You know what we were doing a couple weeks ago? We were watching something that had commercials in it. It was something from Nickelodeon TV, if I remember correctly. So it's like from 91 or 92. They're advertising the show Pete and Pete, if you remember those days. But it was like this block of kids TV from like 1992, let's say. And there were so many commercials that had big casts. Like there was a commercial of a bunch of people watching a sporting event. And so there's like 40 people on the screen. They all have lines. They're all yelling stuff. They're all calling back and forth to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure they're all getting principal actor pay in that commercial. That doesn't happen anymore. That hasn't happened for what, 15 years, maybe longer, Eric?
No. And I'm not saying, when I go into this, whatever I'm doing right now, I'm not saying you have to pay us. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're heading into an area where we've lost the human story. And now, because we're using AI, we're heading into sort of a weird sort of recycled kind of where we think it's new and unique because we can sort of plug what we want into things. But if AI only works on what it has to draw from, who is going to put the money out for the more creative stories? That's what I'm saying.
I think that is the question.
Because because at the end of the day, it comes down to money, right? At the end of the day, fuck story, fuck creativity, fuck all of that.
Yeah.
Is it financially viable? That's what it comes down to.
I get the feeling from a lot of producers. All right, I'm just going to jump to an example. So the Transformers movie did the business that it did. Nobody thought it was genius. Nobody thought we needed it. It's Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox and so they wanted a sequel. What they did not do was hire a writer to write a sequel. What they did do was a bunch of producers pulled scripts that they already had, and they found a script that they turned into a Transformers movie. So there has been this weird cut and paste thing going on for a long time, motivated more by producers than writers or actors or, so auteur.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It all comes down to money, right? Everything fuck creativity, fuck whatever makes you happy, fuck whatever makes you laugh.
Right.
It all comes down to money, right? We want to make money out of whatever we produce.
Right. I have to say, part of what makes me not so panicked about, panicked is, I am panicked about it, but I used to do a lot.
I'm sad about it all.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of radio commercials. That was really where both my wife and I would make our bones, was radio commercials. And radio at some point became so automated. It's AI now, but it was also AI before AI.
Yes.
And they would do a lot less original radio commercials. And it really stopped being a business. And I love radio to this very day. I love historical radio. I love current radio, all that. Yeah. Yes, Eric.
No, I'm just saying, if this business was really about creativity, if this business was about original ideas and storytelling, do you honestly think we would have as many superhero movies as we have? By the way, that doesn't mean they're horrible.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, because when I say this stuff, people are like, "Oh, you're just anti." No, I'm not. It's like there is a place for everything in this business.
Yeah.
But I am about. My thing is, I am about people creating human stories.
Yes. Yeah.
Like original ideas and pushing those, and not just because something is popular that we need to make 10 different versions of that so that we can try and make. I get that it's about making money. I get that the industry has to be about profit, but at the same time, and I get that it's always been that way. It's not like in the last 5 years, people have gone, you know what? We got to start making money at this. It's always been that way. I get it. It's like politics. Corruption is everywhere. It's not just one particular group.
Yeah.
But God damn it, it makes me sad. Like I look at all the people in my circle, like enormously talented people with amazing ideas that this business is absolutely crushed.
Right. You're talking to one of them. Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, believe me. Why I'm here. You handsome son of a.
That he is.
But do you know what I mean? I feel like I've really taken this. I feel like I've taken this on a tangent we should never have gone to.
I don't agree, and if I may, Eric, let me ask you this, because I come from a more, or I should say, a less educated, maybe more naive place.
It's not
than the two of
education.
you. I know, but as far as my knowledge and building my opinion on that knowledge or lack of it in my case, but my question to you is this: do you see the value of things standing the test of time? I mean, they're going to have people watching a AI generated Dean Martin special.
Yes. Why do you think the Beatles have stood the test of time?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they were original, because they were game changing. And we've sort of gone from game changing to let's ride the coattails of what's making money right now. And with more, and so here's the thing. So when we go to these streaming services, and when we go to everything that, by the way, absolutely screwed the system.
Yes.
Like destroyed it. And now we've all sort of come back to cable TV with advertisements and everything else.
Right.
Right. That's exactly what we've done now. We've come back. The streamers have reinvented cable TV.
Exactly. While raising the prices, which is what cable TV
while raising the prices. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to do this to your podcast.
I haven't quite, just like Raphael a moment ago.
I honestly, I feel really bad right now because we were having such a good time, and then I took it to a place where we just should not have gone.
No, this is a conversation we almost have a lot.
Sure.
And especially since Joe and I use a lot of AI to promote the show.
No, but you see, then Yeah, but then it becomes a tool that pushes your originality.
Well, that's our position. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Where as opposed to just creating something that's going to make some money.
Right. You know, I'm going to go back to the idea of first off, showed how dare you? Well, radio was my business, and I got pretty much shut out of that business because they don't do it the way they used to. They don't do original.
I mean, have I ticked off all of your fans right now, or am I just?
No, actually, they're still really.
They're right there with us because they're.
But I mean, this is honestly, this is like the one thing now that I try to carry, because this affects everything. This affects my teaching. This affects talking to the students I have.
Oh yeah, good.
When I have acting students that ask me, you know, what am I getting into? What is the world?
Yeah.
It's like I have to be honest with them, and I have to go. When I got, and I mean, even when I sort of got successful in this business, I still feel like I got to the beach and everybody was leaving with their surfboards and went, Jesus Christ, you needed to be here like half an hour ago because it was amazing.
That's so true. That's so true.
So I got into the business at the tail end. And every time I think I've worked for a job, every time I think I've worked for the least amount of money I would ever work for.
Right.
This business has given me a new low.
Yeah. I think I think newness is the gimmick that entertainment has always loved to serve up. And then
you tell me the most original fucking story you've seen in the last 5 years.
Crickets.
Crickets.
The most original story that has not been done in some other form before it.
See, that's
now that by the way, that's not saying there hasn't been great movies or television. I'm not saying that. There have been like amazing performances. There have been like amazing, I can list a bunch off the top of my head.
Right.
But tell me the last original like idea you ever saw on screen that you went, holy crap.
It's made specifically for the screen?
Whatever. Television, whatever. A book you read that that hasn't been told already in some other form before.
See, that's the thing. It's a like what was one of my favorite things I watched this year? It was the TV series Shogun.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
It was fantastic. But you're right. First, it was a great popular novel. Then it was a mini series with Richard Chamberlain that was beloved. This version is very Japanese and very strong. Really worth watching. I couldn't suggest it enough from the past year. But there's nothing original about it. It's been around for a long time.
Wasn't it Plato that said that there were only maybe a couple of hundred truly distinct plots, and he's never been proven wrong?
I agree with that to a point, but I think in looking at why the fuck do you think history repeats itself?
I mean, because people are cyclical.
Thank you. So, like all these stories and everything else are cyclical. What is the last sort of original story you remember that pushed things forward as opposed to just, retelling something you already know, but in a cool way? And you know what? I say this and everybody's like, you just don't like anything. No, I love a lot of shit.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I think as people who try to tell stories, as people who are part of storytelling, which is what all of us, I think, here love to do and have done and want to do more of.
Somebody said, I think it was McCulkin said that we're not storytellers. I think we are. I think as actors, I think we are storytellers. I think we're part of that. I think we're absolutely part of that journey. I think what we do is fucking important. This is why I'm ruining your show right now. Is that
it's a different show.
And I honestly believe that what we do is important, because I think to a degree we are the storytellers. We are we carry the culture, we carry the history. We give ourselves a way of looking at ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what scares the shit out of me about AI, because I think it becomes manipulation and not a road forward.
Right.
I think we go from storytelling to manipulation. That's what I think the problem is with AI.
That's a really good way of summing it up, because there's always a pull from the past of what was successful and how can we keep success and keep money and let the shareholders of the TV network or the streaming service or the movie studio, the shareholders have to make money. And so
why do you think we fucking reboot everything, for fuck's sakes? Like you can't come up with an original idea?
Yeah. Yeah. This is suggested from a couple of the boys. There's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, I love Everything. Wait. Everything Everywhere All at Once is great. Everybody, what is that series right now? Everybody
Loves Raymond.
What is that? What is that series that's on right now?
Who's in it? What's it on?
It's one of the most naturally funny shows I've seen. Everybody Everywhere, I think is.
Oh, is that it's like Somebody Someplace on
Somebody Someplace? That's what it is.
All those nice people in Kansas.
Oh my God, I am
that's a great show.
Nightmare right now. It's a great show, and you know what makes it great is that it's natural. So many people, AI or human beings, like try and write natural dialogue.
Yeah.
Like try and write natural banter, which just comes across as writing. Right. It's just naturally funny. You just believe that you've sort of been in those situations. I love that show.
It's the kind of show, A, that I never thought I would like, and B, that I never thought I'd hear you say.
You know what? Here's the thing. I would watch trailers for it and have no interest.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, this is some like far left something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I say that in the nicest way, by the way. But I mean, I'm like, this isn't, there's nothing that's drawing me to this show. I watched the pilot and absolutely fell in love with it. Like it's one of my favorite series to date.
It really is something special.
It is. And you know why? Because it just feels natural. Like all the interaction, all the conversation, all the writing, it feels like it just naturally flows. And it does, you know what? Here's the greatest compliment I can give a show. It doesn't feel written.
Exactly. Yeah. I think Duplass, there's like one or two Duplasses in the producing of it, and they're very naturalistic, and they like to do things. You're not strictly on script. You're kind of approximating your lines, which you don't get to do a lot in this business, Eric. You know that.
Well, it's yes. How many times have you been given the note? Why don't we try what the writers wrote?
Here's what I used to run into all the time. The script supervisor sits with the director. She a lot of times she or he has a relationship with the director, and they very much are, you know, a team. And I've had a lot of script supervisors come over to me and been like, you said a instead of the.
Oh my God, yes. Like there are shows where you need to be absolutely word perfect. And then there are shows that are, you know, a little looser. Like I've grown really tired of the improv banter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where scenes never end and where it's all just everybody's trying to find the punchline before the scene ends.
They're trying to top each other with the joke.
Try and top each other, and it's all gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to mute this. I'm going to run to my bathroom, and I'll be right back. So you know, talk about how I've been the worst guest, and
you got it. Joe, this is a good time for you, and I am sorry I caught you mid cough, my friend. Joe is fighting this cold thing that's been going around everywhere. And I also want to bring in some of the suggestions. Atkinson says the movie Lamb. I have to check that out. I've heard good things. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once. I actually have to see that again. I have a need to see that again.
Well, there's an argument you made for, if not totally original, you know, how good is the execution?
Right.
You know,
right. That is a very big deal. And honestly, here, I'm going to take Eric's shot out. Honestly, I think the, you know, what we all do in this sort of crowded world of entertainment between having movies on the big screen, streamers, network TV still exists, cable networks still exist. And this is a really good suggestion too. A24 projects, as Raphael points out, are very good. There's a very distinct kind of voice there.
Yeah.
There's a very distinct kind of taste there. Hey, Eric's back. And I think we I think there's a lot of garbage in, garbage out. And right now, I don't think AI has any idea how much it draws off of garbage.
Oh yeah,
it has no conscience.
Exactly.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it has no. It's just pulling data.
Right. Right.
Like I was always sort of amazed at when my friends' kids like had you could create artwork through AI.
Yeah.
You give it a bunch of keywords and it would create. I was always amazed at what images they would pull based on what you fed it.
Yes. Yeah.
There was no concept of art or what looked good or what, like if you found something that was really cool, it was a fluke. It wasn't like AI was there going, oh, this would, you know, if we had the light coming in from whatever. That's why they gave you 6 choices and you chose the best one. Right. And then you could create more images off that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with Shode on this. AI lacks style, and
Yes.
I'd push it further. It lacks taste.
It lacks a conscience. Like there's it's just pure data. But I tell you what, my biggest issue with AI is I think people just don't give a shit.
That's true, but we have been the victims of that for a long time. You know, this is actually a Retro Rangers story. We found this out when we were doing it was I can't remember what the subject was, Joe, but we found out that story about how the week that JFK was assassinated, the #1 show, the #1 ratings in the week following the assassination was the episode of the Beverly Hillbillies where Granny thinks a kangaroo is a giant jackrabbit.
We must touch on that in Rural Purge, I would imagine.
Rural Purge.
Yeah.
And that became part of the rural purge. That became part of the look, we can't have these TV shows on that are so silly and so ridiculous when serious stuff like the president got assassinated is happening. And yet the ratings didn't go down. And it was up to the network.
That's sort of the issue, right? Is that it doesn't become about, oh my God, do we really want to go into this conversation?
We might as well. I mean,
why not? Here we are.
We're here. When we run out of energy, we'll end.
It doesn't become about whatever. It just becomes about, I've always said the biggest problem has been people don't want to be educated. They just want confirmation for what they're feeling.
Oh boy, I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Right?
That is
so,
true. Yeah.
So when it comes to AI, it's just about entertainment, right? So does it really matter where it comes from if it just makes you smile? And this is sort of the thing. It's like I don't consider AI evil.
Mm-hmm.
I just consider it, what's the word? I think it just plays to the basest instincts of who we are.
Right.
Actually, I don't think we use AI to get to a better place. I think we just make AI, we just use AI to make us laugh. And I think that, honestly, I think that's a huge problem.
AI, I think, is the latest version of this. I feel like this has gone on for a long time. Like, Eric, you and I got into this business because I wanted to do sitcoms. I assume that was part of what you wanted.
The greatest job in the world.
Because I grew up watching sitcoms. I would watch Barney Miller, and I would go, I want to be one of those guys who's the guest star this week.
Me too.
You know, we would watch so many different shows, and I would kind of know like the character actors, and I wanted to be one of those guys. When it became clear that I could maybe be an actor.
You and I are like character guys. That's how I've made my whole career.
Yeah. Like we were never going to get the lead. We auditioned all the time.
No, we never got the lead. We never got the girl. We never got, we were. What's the line you've said most often? Drop the gun, Magnum.
Here's the line that I got most often in auditions, and I hated it, so I never booked the gig. But here's the line. I'm sorry. I'm slow. Sometimes my brain don't work so good. How many times did you have to read for that guy, Eric?
That's been my whole career. I can't get upset about it because that's what gave me a career in Hollywood.
My favorite was, I'm sorry, Mr. Walker. That's Ranger Walker. Oh, sometimes my brain don't work so good. I was like, oh, I hope Walker Texas Ranger hires me. They did not.
That's why, like back when we used to audition, back when we used to actually go in the room, that's why we'd see the same guys at every fucking audition. Yeah. And they would get progressively smaller.
Yeah.
As the years went by, but it was always the same guys. I mean, that was a running joke, right? Was that one, we should carpool. Two, why don't they just rotate the roles? Why don't they just rotate the offer out?
Why? Yeah. Why are they?
We'll all work when it's our turn.
Exactly. The wheel spins and then it falls on you. All right. I mean, we practically all wore the same size clothing anyway.
Oh my God. That's what. Yeah. Here, this is what Weber wore in the show before you. Oh, perfect. This will be great.
Have you ever, this must have happened to you once or twice. Have you ever seen your wardrobe come back?
Yes. Yes. I've had costume fittings where I've gone, oh shit, I wore this 10 years ago. Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
I love that. When I was in New York,
know what I love about costume fittings is seeing who wore it before you.
Yes,
recognizing the names of who had the outfit before you did.
Was I was in New York, the costume houses did most of the Broadway shows, but they would also do TV as well. And I can't tell you how many times they put something on me and go, I knew that was going to fit you because it was John Goodman's.
Yes.
There was a lady who was like, you and John Goodman have the same ass.
That must make you feel good.
Made me feel really good.
That's got to look good on a resume.
I always wanted to meet him.
Skills. John Goodman and I have the same ass. I love John Goodman. Like I say, that was the first show I got when I was here, and I said for years I want to be John Goodman when I grow up.
Oh yeah,
he was the one guy. Like when I was on that set, I was like, I want to be that guy.
Yes,
like not only like a phenomenal actor. I love everything John Goodman does.
Yeah.
What's the Mark Wahlberg movie where he plays the gambler?
Oh.
I just saw a clip from that the other day on YouTube. I think it's called The Gambler, but John Goodman is phenomenal in that. Like just an enormously, like I got tons of stories about the guy, but he but the bottom line was he was so great that I was like, you know what? Like it as I go through my career, I need to be that guy.
Yes.
He knows, he's got it dialed in. He knows who he needs to be on set. He knows who he needs to be to other actors. Like he was just one of the greatest human beings I ever met.
There was a period of time where if you were a stand-up comedian, you were going to do a pilot for a sitcom. That was just how it worked. And female comedians almost always had a big, soft, supportive, loving husband.
Mm-hmm.
And no one did that better than John Goodman.
Oh my God. Like the best. The best.
And so anytime I went in for a pilot to play the husband to the star of the show, I wasn't doing anything outside of John Goodman.
You know what? What made him great was that he was so genuine. Like you go back to those early episodes of Roseanne.
Yeah.
Like he's amazing. Like I was talking with her backstage as we're, waiting to come on and rehearse and stuff.
Yeah.
And she recognizes, she's like, I am so glad that he is on this show.
Yeah.
Because he makes the show, he makes me that much better.
This is
an actor. He is that supportive.
Oh, yeah.
He is that,
Well, and can I just say, because he's a former stage actor, that's one of my personal things. A Broadway actor, a stage actor, they're giving, they play the passing game.
Yeah.
They see their success in your success. If they make you look like $1 million, they look like $1 million.
Yeah. No. Just really one of the greatest guys I ever met, that guy.
Yeah.
And I still to this day was like if I still want to grow up to be John, even at my age, I still want to grow up to be John Goodman.
I never got to work with John Goodman, but I did get to work with John Lithgow.
Oh, was that great?
One of the best. What a sweet, dear man he is. And just a great actor. But again, theater background, knows how to invest in the other people. My scene got cut. My scene got cut from Third Rock from the Sun. He called me at my house and explained why it happened and apologized.
Oh, what a class act.
God, what a guy. He was so cool. Because they were doing Third Rock when we were doing Hughleys.
Yeah, right.
I would go work out in the studio gym there, which was actually under their stage, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I came up, and I was such a dick. Not intentionally, but somebody came up, and it was, the shit that hits you at the top of your head. I made some stupid joke about Lithgow and Third Rock. Not mean. I didn't mean it mean. It was just I just wanted to laugh at the point, right?
Yeah.
So I said it, not realizing that Lithgow was like over my fucking left shoulder.
Oh.
Walking to his dressing room. And I looked, and I couldn't have felt any less of a human being than I did at that moment, even though I didn't mean it.
Yes, I know.
You know what I mean? It was just a couple of guys fucking around.
Yes.
And I said something stupid, and he just happened to be there.
Oh.
And you know what? You know how cool this guy was? I turned around and I saw him, and he must have seen the fucking soul leave my body and go. Because I love that human being. So I love him as an actor so much.
Yeah.
And he took what I said and rolled with it and topped it and then walked off to his dressing room. And I was like, that is the coolest human being I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh man, that's
like
beautiful.
somebody who could have made me feel like somebody could have made me feel like I don't know how anybody could have made me feel worse than I did at the moment, but he didn't go there. Instead, he took it, he went up, and he made it something even better and even funnier. And then and then walked into his dressing room, and I was like, I don't know if I'll ever see him again in my life. I doubt it, because I'm a fucking G-list actor. But I always remember that moment, and I went, fucking hell.
Yeah.
What a classy move.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could have easily.
He could have crushed you like a bug.
No, he could have called me out, and I would have deserved everything he would have given me.
Yeah.
But instead he made it better. And walked off. And I just thought that was one of the coolest things I had ever seen.
He was a super cool guy. Before the episode tapes, you have dinner, and then you do a line through. That's very typical on a sitcom set. Everybody has their own way of doing it, but that's usually how it goes. So we rehearsed, we had dinner. Now we're going to go in front of the live audience. They're being loaded in, they're being warmed up. On Third Rock from the Sun, you would go to Lithgow's bungalow. He would give everyone a gift, which was a caricature of everybody on the show. Regular cast, but
how great is that?
That's on your chair, a beautiful print of that. And then you sit and do a table read. But you've memorized it, so you're just doing your lines. And it was his party. He threw a party for us. And then we'd go tape. And it got everybody in such a great mood and was just so Raphael, you go right ahead, my friend. You go right ahead. Thank you for this almost 3 hours of your time, Raphael. You go right ahead. But he, what a classy guy. What a great executive producer.
No, I mean, really just so classy, beyond classy. And it pisses me off that that's my only interaction with the guy, was me being a dick and him making it okay for me to be a dick.
Oh dear.
Obviously, it still bothers me. It's going to bother me in the morning when I wake up again. But
absolutely, no, that's one of those things that I'm shocked
just
that I didn't.
That I love, and I went to him, Dick, because I wanted to laugh,
Right.
and I've loved everything that he's done. You know, like it just, like I thought, Jesus Christ, like there are those people in the industry, and then there's me.
I am going to push us forward. Let's talk about what's going on next week.
John, before you do that, I'm just going to put this out there, not put anybody on the spot, but I think we have the makings for a very lively and engrossing. It wouldn't be Retro Rangers necessarily, but maybe a one-shot special with a conversation with Eric.
I'll tell you what, I'll take whatever
I can't believe you just endured what I've put you through.
Oh,
and then
quite the opposite.
Want to do that.
I want more. I'm a masochist. Not at all. Not at all.
No. This is the conversation we want to have. This is, we care about TV and we care about movies. We care about telling these stories. We care about the history. And there's nothing wrong with that. That I would, like I was saying earlier, I will go crazy if I think about politics because there's nothing I can do except vote.
Right.
It comes up every few years, and that's all I can do. I can support my people, but for the most part, it's just a conversation.
And that's the process, right? Ooh, here we go. Here's another hour on the podcast. Yeah. No. I get you. I'm just of what we do.
Right.
Watch it. And John, I know personally, I know you're like you're God, you were such a wonderful actor. Like I've seen you on stage, on screen, like important, and I get so much in that. Walk with it. That's when you.
Oh, you poor guy. Eric, I'm sorry, but our signal is going to hell. Our signal is really bad right now. I'm so sorry about that.
Let's get out of here. No, I'm sure they're like, fuck, get him off the fucking feed.
Not at all. It's killing me that as we've come to this point of the conversation, now the signal's going bad. Let's just jump in to what's going on next week. Eric,
Lions play San Francisco next week. That's what's happening next week.
Lions playing San Francisco. So you're not going to be able to join us for Battle of the Retro Stars Part 4.
That's fantastic. What are you guys doing?
We're going to watch it and just talk crap the whole time.
That's fantastic.
This will be our 4th edition because there's no end of
on this show. This is great.
I'll let you know when we're going to do Part 5. Part 4 is coming up. We got Barry the K with us. And Joe, I can't help but notice, I believe you are Caitlyn Jenner in this picture.
You would be correct, yes. And of course, you are Cosell, obviously.
Obviously, I am Howard Cosell. Beautiful, fun stuff, but that's next week. Coming up next Saturday, as part of our Retro Trekkers Trials and Titillations, we're going to be doing a Ryza themed episode. It will draw from Next Generation Captain's Holiday and one of the most reviled episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Let He Who Is Without Sin. That's next Saturday. And coming up this Thursday, I'm going to play a show from the Whistler, and it will be New Year's themed. So it's the day after New Year's Day, but we will be listening to the show the first year.
Why am
so
I not a part of this? You son of a bitch. Like not one single text going, hey, what are you doing? You want to maybe like read a roll? Whatever.
Okay, Eric, you're on record now.
You're
gonna hold you to that.
Go do this with your friends.
Eric, if I thought I could get you, I would have been on the phone.
Whatever. I never answer my text. Whatever. Yeah, go hang with your real friends.
You got me. Hey, man, we'll make it work. Because the signal's breaking up, it's probably time. So,
all right,
we're gonna sign off with the show.
Enjoyed the hell out of this. This was great.
You are so perfect for this. And I'll make the pitch right now on air. I've made this pitch to you before. If you ever wanted to do a show, I will produce it for you.
I will do the show. Anything else? Listen, dude, I will do whatever you want to do.
Right on.
20. And it's not just the Scotch talking, John.
Hey, man. And the talent.
Whatever.
They're not mutually exclusive. All right, let's call it, everybody. Great show. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Eric. Believe me, folks, if you know an actor, you want to send them in the direction of our good friend, Eric Kramer. And not only is he a great acting coach and a great mind to bounce things off of, but you can also check him out on Instagram, because Eric's Instagram is so entertaining. You got to check out.
So entertaining.
You got to check out the KGB. Kramer's Grill and Bar.
KGB hopefully will be making, I think that's the new year. New year is New Year. I think. I think I want to get you involved.
Absolutely.
Because I think that would make it fun for me. What killed the KGB was I hated doing it on my own. Because it was like me hanging out with myself. And that's not a good thing.
Okay, you're not a big fan of that, but I am. And I'm telling folks, you got to go check out the KGB stuff on Eric Kramer's Instagram.
I just can't live with myself. That's it.
And I'm going to sneak this in here real quick in our final moments. But Eric, as we said at the beginning, I've been so looking forward to meeting you, and it was great fun tonight. I hope we have a chance to appear together again, all of us.
I would love it. I doubt you're going to invite me back after this night, but
we'll prove you wrong, sir.
If you do, it would be fantastic. I love it.
Folks, that is it. One more time, thank you, Eric Kramer, for joining us. You are coming back, like it or not. You are coming.
Well, he's on record now. We're going to hold him to it.
Joe, thank you so much.
Like I say, we'll see how many episodes pop up before my face shows up again. That's all right. Whatever.
That is not going to happen. No. We're going to exploit you for everything we can get.
And look for your uniform real soon, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Grab your popcorn, warm up your TV.
All right, boys.
Capt'n John, Cmdr, Joe got something to see. We're all back in time to the golden past with the Retro Ranger. Oh, it's such a blast. We're flying high with the Retro Ranger. Give it a try and don't be a stranger. Ranger, strap yourself in for a fun-filled flight. Retro Rangers are flying tonight. Retro Rangers, 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 Retro Rangers. It's so snowy outside, but my apartment's so warm.
I admire your etching.
I admire your form.
Oh, you're just so insistent.
I've been waiting so long.
And I've been getting ideas from JoeTownsend.com.
Horror for the holidays, how about that? You're like the canary and I am the cat. We've got a roaring fire and a bearskin rug, and I'm expecting so much more than a kiss and a hug.
The girls at the office all talk about you. You gotta be stopped, and that's just what I'll do.
I feel sick and dizzy.
And why is that, you think?
When I wasn't looking, you switched our drinks.
Horror for the holidays, JoeTownsend.com.
I can't feel my legs and I can't move my arms. Please don't let me die, I'll mend my ways.
Enjoy your last horror for the holidays.
JoeTownsend.com.